Good evening and welcome back home. Game one of a 2-week homestand and a 6-game series between the Reading Fightin Phils and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Welcome to the pregame show. I am Jake Starr. Appreciate you spending part of your Tuesday night with myself and my broadcast partner, Bob McCool, who will be joining in just a little bit. Well, Reading ultimately went 2-4 last week against the Senators. It was a series where they likely could have won another game or two, but a couple of walk-off home runs from old friend Carlos De La Cruz played spoiler to that, and also another walk-off win for Harrisburg on Friday as well. Reading wins on Thursday and Saturday, and they did drop Sunday's game 3-1 to the Senators in a rain-soaked game in the finale of that series. So back here in Baseball Town this week, it's New Hampshire, a team that Reading has played well against the last 2 years, won 11-6 against last year, including a 5-1 record here at home. And also they took 4 of 6 from the the Fisher Cats. Got to get off last week and on to this week on the Fisher Cats back in May. So the Fightin Phils, that was their only series win of the year. So we'll see if they can begin the penultimate series of the first half on a high note. And that all starts tonight with game number 1 of 6 between the Fightin Phils and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. We're going to step away for a moment. When we come back, we have a special pregame interview tonight. We're going to take a trip back to March when we sat down with the newest member of the Philadelphia Phillies, Otto Kemp, ahead of the spring breakout game down in Clearwater, Florida. So that conversation with Kemp is coming up when the pregame show rolls on after this on the Fightin Phils Radio Network. Back in on the pregame show on the Fightin' Phillies radio network. Reading and New Hampshire, a few minutes away from starting off on this series. The managers are at home plate right now with the home plate meeting. Brent LaValle for the Fisher Cats, and the acting manager this week, Michael Jones, for the Fightin' Phillies. Once again, I'm Jake Starr, joined alongside by Bob McCool. And Bob, I don't want to bury the lead too far. In addition to this Fightin' Phillies team today, it's Carson DeMartini, someone who's skyrocketed through the Phillies system, a draft pick last year. Just 77 career professional games, and now he makes his Double-A debut tonight.
Yeah, it's very exciting, obviously, for him, and I think it's interesting to see where he'll and how things will move with the Phils. Aiden Miller has moved into the leadoff spot now in the batting order. Carson DeMartini will follow him in the 2 spot. So it'll be interesting to see. He's going to get the opportunity probably to run out here every day or almost every day to play that third base spot and see how he produces just out of Virginia Tech in last year's draft.
First member of the 2024 draft class to get up to Double-A. Just 22 years old is Carson DeMartini, so she'll be an exciting addition to this Fightin' Phillies team. Reading is taking the field for tonight, so that'll wrap up tonight's pregame show. We'll step aside for a moment. And when we come back, Bob McCool's got lineups and first pitch of game number 1 between the Fightin' Phillies and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats after this on the Our Phillies radio network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to FirstEnergy Stadium as the Reading Fightin' Phillies welcome the New Hampshire Fisher Cats to town for the start of a 6-game series. A team they just matched up with here in Baseball Town only a month ago, but the Fisher Cats have played good baseball of late. They won 5 out of 6 last week at home against Altoona, and right now are at 26-31 on the season. The Fightin' Phillies, after a 2-4 road trip to Harrisburg, are at 20-35. Alongside Jake Starr, my name is Bob McCool, and here is the lineup for the Fisher Cats in this first game of the series. Edison Paulino will lead off and play at second base. Charles McAdoo plays third base and is batting second. Jace Borfett is the right fielder batting third. Peyton Williams, the cleanup hitter, is at first base. Designated hitter Ryan McCarty bats in the 5 spot. Kay Doty bats 6th and is at shortstop. Gabby Martinez is in left field batting 7th. Devontae Brown patrols center field and bats 8th. And Jacob Sharp behind the plate is batting 9th. That lineup will face right-hander for the Fightin' Phillies, Mitch Noonborn.
Mitch Noonborn making his 15th appearance, just his 3rd start. 2-0, a 3.38 ERA, 29 1/3 innings pitched, 19 hits, just 5 walks to 33 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 179 against Noonborn this year, who has had a terrific outing last week at Harrisburg 5 days ago. No decision, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Was perfect through 3, allowed a double in the 4th, but left that runner stranded. So got a thing to hope it's for. Maybe he's efficient like Will Crow was on Saturday and they can push it a little bit. But in essence, it's a bullpen game, but the hope is you can get a couple of bulk guys to push you throughout.
Game time temperature presented by All Temp Enterprises is at 78 degrees. Bit of a breeze blowing because, we're here at FirstEnergy Stadium, and it seems like there's always a bit of a breeze blowing. This season, 8 miles an hour is the official number, with gusts up to about 14 miles an hour. As Edinson Paulino settles into the left-hand batter's box to lead off, and the first pitch from Mitch Noonborn, delivered just a couple of minutes past the 7 o'clock hour, is up high for a ball. It's 1-0. Edinson Paulino at .236 on the season. 4 home runs and 14 RBIs. And the 1-0 pitch from Noonborn shows bunt, bunts through it. Actually bunted it foul at the plate. And it is 1 ball and 1 strike. Looks like Paul McIntosh needs a moment. So it's 1-1 to Paulino, who went 4 for 24 on the road trip. Or excuse me, on the homestand against Altoona. The 1-1 pitch to him is lined into right field, and that will drop for a base hit. So Paulino gets things started for the Fisher Cats with a leadoff single here at the top of the first inning. Defense behind Noonborn. Hendry Mendez is in left field. Cade Fergus is in center. Leandro Pineda is in right. Keaton Anthony's at first base. Robert Moore at second. Aiden Miller at short. And we mentioned in the pregame show, Carson DiMartini makes his Double-A debut for the Philadelphia Phillies organization, playing at third base, and Paul McIntosh behind the plate. Charles McAdoo is the batter, and the right-hand hitter's first pitch to him is there for a called strike. Noonborn, 27 years of age, originally born in South Africa, signed as a free agent by the Phillies in 2023, and the right-hander's 0-1 pitch. Runner takes off and is driven into left field. Back goes Mendez, back to the track. He'll have room, and he'll make the catch about halfway back on the warning track. And Paulino has to scamper back to first base, out number 1.
Yeah, McAdoo just got a little bit under it. It was a slider, bottom of the zone, and probably left a little too far up for the liking of Noonborn. But like we said, fortunately, McAdoo gets under it. Ballpark keeps it in. Wind not really blowing that much at all.
So that'll bring Jace Borfin, to the plate. Borfin had a couple of home runs in the homestand against Altoona, and he is now up to 9 home runs and 25 RBIs on the season. That's the good news. The bad news, the batting average still stumbling along at .212 as he takes the first pitch from Noonborn over for a called strike. Borfin, one of 3 lefties in the top 4 hitters in Brent LaValle's lineup tonight. The rest are all righties. 0-1 pitch, and that's low for a ball. Borfin, the number 24 prospect in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. Drafted out of Arkansas in 2023. 1-1 pitch to him. As Paulino dances around off of first, bluffed as if he were going to go, and the pitch is outside. It's 2-1. Almost kind of a half pitch out there between Noonborn and McIntosh, with Paulino dancing around off the bag at first base. Again, he was off on the pitch to McAdoo that he drove to the warning track. Has not indicated he's going to run since then. Off-speed pitch, and way out in front of it is Borfin, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Paulino just 2 stolen bases this year in 39 games played, so he's not much of a threat to run. But of course, he is at the top of the lineup. Nice to see him there, not Johendrick Pinango, who's fortunately for the Fightin Phils in Buffalo right now.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Started and stopped this time, and Borfin will foul it out of play. Again, the Fisher Cats were here in the second week of May, and Johendrick Pinango was at the top of their order, and he was just terrific. If you're a Fisher Cat and or a Blue Jay fan, he was really good. Now the runner again started and stopped. The ball's in the dirt, and it's now 3-2. So Paulino may not be going anywhere, but he's being disruptive, if nothing else, with his bluffs as if he is going. Whether his intentions are good or just to deceive remains to be seen, with now a 3 balls and 2 strike count on Borfin. Doing a little bit more deliberate now, the pickoff attempt, but Paulino dives back in without a problem. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Borfin. Right fielder Leandro Pineda playing really deep in right field with the power of Borfin. Now he does take off, and this time the pitch is inside, ball 4. So Borfin draws the walk. 2 on now and 1 out for Peyton Williams.
Walks have not been much of an issue for Noonborn this year. That just is 6 in 29 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's posted a really good strikeout to walk ratio over 6, but did struggle with some control there. Kind of dancing around a bit for Borfin. You got Williams up, 222 hitter. He's got power, but also not a ton of speed. So if you can find a way to get a ground ball here, find a way to get out of this inning.
Williams, the big left-hand hitter, settles into the batter's box. First and second, 1 out. First pitch from Noonborn in the dirt. Good block by McIntosh. Williams, 6'5" and 255. Former teammate of Fightin Phil's first baseman Keith Anthony at the University of Iowa. He is an Iowa native, drafted by the Blue Jays in 2022 in the 7th round from the Hawkeyes. 1-0 pitch to him. That's there for a called strike 1. Williams at 222 on the season, 6 home runs and 22 RBIs. One of those home runs coming in the series against Altoona. And there's a little squibber off the end of his bat. Martini's going to get his first play, and the first base throw is not in time. Carson DiMartini had to try and charge, and Williams, to his credit, hustles it out. That's going to be an infield single.
Yeah, not often is Peyton Williams going to get himself an infield single. Bit of a tough play for DiMartini. He kind of fielded it and ended up kind of setting himself. Probably cost him a couple of seconds, but maybe it adds a little bit of velocity on the throw. But nevertheless, now you got bases loaded, 1 out. McCarty's up, who was sent up to Buffalo, recently back down to New Hampshire.
Now Paul McIntosh is going to call a timeout, go out and talk to Noonborn. This might have a little bit to do with defensive alignment as well. Looks like the Phils are going to play the infield back, hoping to turn a double play and get out of this inning with 1 out. Bases loaded.
I think some of it may also have to do with signs because you got the runner on second base, so you're going through a more complicated set of signs.
So Peyton Williams with the infield single. And to Jake's point about DiMartini and the chance he had, I can imagine that thing was spinning all kinds of sideways off the end of the bat from Williams.
I mean, it was hit 50.5 miles per hour off the bat.
And again, he's playing obviously deep and off the line because of the left-handed prowess of Peyton Williams, so he's not looking for a little squibber down the third baseline. But here we go, bases loaded, 1 out, and Ryan McCarty at the plate. And first pitch is a slider that he swings over the top of. It's quickly no balls and 1 strike.
Big spot early in this game. I mean, you have a pretty beat-up pitching staff right now. Noonborn and Crow, 2 guys who are trying to build up, but last thing you want to do early is tax your bullpen. So you can find a way to get out of this inning quickly. That would be huge.
Now DiMartini comes up even with the bag at third base. Great block by McIntosh. Pitch that was way out of the strike zone in the dirt. McIntosh got out there, and something you don't see catchers do a whole lot of anymore, and that's get his body out in front of it. Too many catchers trying to backhand, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it's at the backstop. But McIntosh got all of his body out in front of that one. 1-1 pitch. McCarty tried to hold up and could not. It's 1-2.
So you climb the ladder there for four-seam fastball. You're at a 1-2 count. Wonder if you go back up there, but if you go up, you got to go up. Or if you try to have one that just has the bottom fall out of the zone.
Noonborn's pitch. It is not on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Huge strikeout for Mitch Noonborn.
Yeah, hit a spot with a slider at 81, and home plate umpire Josiah Shepard, a bit of a delayed call, so I guess we're doing that again this week.
Yep, gotta remember that he's on a little bit of a delay with ringing batters up. Josiah Shepard, our home plate umpire. Brian Laws at first. Garrett Nelson is at third in our 3-man umpiring crew. And a huge strikeout there for Noonborn, as now Cade Doty will bat. The first pitch to Doty is there for a called strike 1.
For what it's worth, Noonborn's at 20 pitches now. Went 45 last week. Season high is 48. So the number's probably 50 to 55 is what you're looking at tonight from him. That's just speculation based off what we've seen this year.
Another one in the dirt. Another good block by McIntosh. He's been tested 3 times already in this first inning with pitches in the dirt, and he's passed every one of those tests.
I mean, he's a veteran, right? You don't make it this many years as a catcher if you don't develop the trust from your pitching staff. And that's what he's doing when he gets down to his knees and blocks those.
So it's 1 ball and 1 strike now to Doty. That's up and in. It's 2-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top half of the first inning. Neuenborn from the stretch delivers 2-1. There for a called strike. No, apparently is not. It's low ball 3. It's 3-1.
You got nowhere to put him.
Yep. So danger zone right now for Mitch Neuenborn. Doty, 303 batting average with a home run and 8 RBIs on a season in a prime spot here, and he drives this one to straightaway center field. Cade Fergus will have to go back just a few steps and make the catch. And ultimately, it is for naught as the Fisher Cats in the first. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and they leave them loaded. We'll head to the bottom of the first. When we come back, the FirstEnergy Stadium, the home team bats for the first time. Here's tonight's Fightin' Phil's starting lineup presented by Golden Oaks Landscaping. Aiden Miller now in his new spot, if you will, in the Phil's batting order. That's in the leadoff spot, followed by Carson DiMartini. Caton Anthony bats third. Henry Mendez is the cleanup hitter. Paul McIntosh bats fifth. Seth Beer is a designated hitter tonight, and he bats sixth. Robert Moore bats seventh. Leandro Pineda bats eighth, and Cade Fergus is in the 9-hole. That lineup facing right-hander for the Fisher Cats, Devereaux Harrison.
11th appearance for Harrison, 4-5, 4.98 ERA, 47 innings, 42 hits, 25 walks, 45 strikeouts, and a 243 opponent's batting average for Devereaux Harrison, the 23-year-old.
Aiden Miller, 4 for 22 on the road trip to Harrisburg. And first pitch to him is up and in for a ball. 234 now on the season. He's got 6 doubles. He's got 6 home runs. And after 4 RBIs on the trip, he's at 16 RBIs now in the season. So that number has gone up over the course of the last couple of weeks. And the 1-0 pitch is outside. It's 2-0. Aiden, who just turned 21 yesterday. 2-0 pitch to him is down low. It's inside. It's 3-0. So Miller already in a friendly spot. 3 balls and no strikes as as Harrison winds and livers, and it's there for a called strike 1. Harrison, 24 years of age. Drafted by the Blue Jays in 2022 out of Long Beach State, delivers his 3-1 pitch. Miller takes that on the inside corner. And after falling behind 3-0, Harrison has worked it back to a 3 balls and 2 strike count.
But a long at bat here for Miller, which is what you want from your leadoff hitter.
3-2 pitch. Lifts this one down the first base line. Williams, the first baseman, will give it chase, and he will just run out of room as it lands right around the tarp and on the other side of the tarp. And so Miller stays alive at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Defense behind Harrison. Gabby Martinez is in left. Devontae Brown in center. Jace Borfin is in right. Williams, as we said, is at first base. Anderson Paulino at second. Cade Doty at short. Charles McAdoo at third. Jacob Sharp behind the plate as the pitch is over for a called strike 3. Aiden Miller did not think so. He looked like he was headed towards first base. And instead, he is now headed to the dugout, called looking.
Yeah, Miller did not agree with that, but quick trigger there from Brian Laws at first base, but still a good long at bat from Aiden Miller to start this game.
So that will bring up Carson DiMartini. He swings at the first pitch he sees and lifts it down the third base line. And on one pitch, DiMartini is retired on a fly ball to left field. So DiMartini, who was just elevated today after hitting at 284 with 8 home runs and 30 RBIs at Jersey Shore, is out on one pitch. And that will bring Keaton Anthony to the plate. Anthony having himself a monster season so far. 328 on the year, 4 home runs, 29 RBIs. He swings at the first pitch and hits it fouled on the first base line. Anthony with 7 more hits on the road trip to Harrisburg, including a couple more doubles. He's now at 21 in that category, but also a couple home runs to go along with it. So he's now up to 4 home runs on the year. As he swings and misses at this pitch, it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
We saw the power start to flash from DiMartini, and I think as the weather starts to warm up, a lot of those balls that he's hitting in the gap might start to find their way over the fence. So may cost some doubles for the proclaimed Mr. Doubles, proclaimed by us, of course, up here. But if it results in more home runs, I think it's a trade-off that everybody will take.
No balls and 2 strikes to him. That's outside. It's 1-2. Defense plays him pretty much straight away in the infield. Shade him a bit the other way in the outfield. And the 1-2 pitch to Keaton Anthony. Slaps it the other way, and that's into right field for a base hit. So Keaton Anthony gets the Fightin' Phil's first hit of the ball game. It's a 2-out single here in the first. It'll bring Henry Mendez to the plate.
Yeah, kid just hits. I mean, it's a 2-strike pitch on the outside part. Maybe off the zone a little bit, but hey, he's just protecting, fights it off. And with that, he's up to a 25-game on-base streak.
Michael Jones is coaching at third base tonight, and Carl Ellison is at first for the Phils, as Al Padrique enjoys a week's vacation this week. And the first pitch to Henry Mendez. He started and stopped. They'll appeal and say he did not go around. Jacob Sharp pointed down the third base line for the third base umpire, who was standing at second base. And I laugh every time I see that. Instinctually, they just point down that third base line to nobody being there. And Henry Mendez takes that one for a called strike. It's 1-1.
And I always wonder how an umpire that's standing behind the pitcher's mound has any clue whether or not the bat broke the plane of the plate.
Absolutely correct. He's giving his best guess is what he's basically doing.
And if you're guessing, you should say he held up.
1 ball and 1 strike to Mendez. That's there for a called strike 2. So Harrison, after falling behind Aiden Miller 3-0, pretty much filling up the strike zone ever since. He's ahead of Henry Mendez, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mendez at 292 on the season, 4 home runs and 25 RBIs. 1-2 pitch is way outside. It's 2-2. Harrison kind of made it himself on that spot of that slider that was not even close to being a strike. Harrison has given up 8 home runs through his first 10 starts this season. And the pitch to Mendez is up and in. Old chin music for Henry Mendez to run the count full.
Second 3-ball count in 4 at-bats for the Fightin's batters. Got Harrison up to 17 pitches here in this first inning.
So with a 3 balls and 2 strikes count, Keaton Anthony will be off on the pitch. And the pitch is low and inside, ball 4. So Mendez comes back to work the walk. 2 on now and 2 out here in inning number 1.
We got Paul McIntosh coming up, swung a really good bat last week in Harrisburg. Got 3 hits, all were home runs. On Saturday night, hit a pair of home runs, but all 4 swings he had were home run caliber swings. So we'll see if that carries over to a place that is known as a hitter's park. And as we said, weather's warming up, so balls should start to fly more. Reading 9 home runs last week, tied for first in the Eastern League.
Mendez also with 6 RBIs in the week as well. So he's now at 4 home runs and 15 RBIs on the season. First pitch here, swings and fouls it back to the backstop. So Phil's up there hacking against Harrison. First pitch swinging for the 4 batters who have been up after Aiden Miller fell behind or got ahead 3-0. 2 on, 2 outs, bottom of the first. And that's there for a called strike as he locks up McIntosh on the slider and gets ahead now, no balls and 2 strikes. This one foul out of play. It stays at no balls and 2 strikes. Phil's lineup tonight pretty much balanced between right-handed and left-hand hitting. Basically staggered every other hitter, right-handed and left-handed. Something that the Phils have been able to do with some of the additions they've had to this roster over the course of the last couple of weeks. And Carson DiMartini fills right into that with batting from the left-hand side. In between the right-hand hitting Miller and Anthony. There's an off-speed pitch and a swing and a miss, and McIntosh comes up empty. And so too do the Phils here in the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. 1 complete, scoreless in Baseball Town. Welcome back to FirstEnergy Stadium as we head to the top half of the second inning in a scoreless tie. New Hampshire Fisher Cats and the Reading Fightin Phils. And the Fisher Cats are at the plate here in the second against Mitch Noonborn. It'll be Gabby Martinez, Devontae Brown, and Jacob Sharp due up for New Hampshire here in the top half of the second inning. And I have a guest with me here in the booth. Tonight is our 9th annual Strikeout the Stigma event here at FirstEnergy Stadium as the Reading Fightin Phils work with Berks County Mental Health and Development Disabilities, and I'm joined by Pam Seaman, who works for that organization. And Pam, first of all, welcome aboard. Thank you for being a part of this. 9 years of this event here at FirstEnergy Stadium. How many of them have you been a part of?
Probably just 6.
6. All right. Well, that's a pretty good percentage. But it is a great event for you and obviously for everybody as this first pitch swinging is lofted up left side in the infield, and Aiden Miller settles under it, waits for it to come down, and 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second inning. But there are 4 letters that are kind of the motto that really modify as 4 words or 3 words, if you will, and that is "Are you okay?" which is kind of the motto of what you are talking about and trying to make people understand. That's simple. Are you okay in terms of mental health and mental awareness?
That's right. That's our suicide prevention task force for Berks County, and yes, it sticks with you. Are you okay is something easy for anybody to think about and say to somebody else.
And I think, so much of where we are in the world of mental health and so much more of it has come out in the public over the course of the last, 5, 6, 7 years. I think it's become just that simple, that it is okay to be able to speak about it. But at the core of it all, and the reason why you use that terminology is because for many people it still is something that they are not comfortable being open about.
Yeah, it's still, we've made a lot of progress, but it's still a taboo subject for some people and not an easy conversation always.
Another shallow pop-up that Aiden Miller will squeeze for out number 2 here in the second inning. So Mitch Noonborn getting the job done here in the second. But it is also, when you think about mental health and mental illness, you look at it, the terminology is mental illness is treatable and suicide is preventable. And I think those are 2 things that should really stick in people's minds.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of why we do this baseball game is we want people to know that there's hope and there's treatment, and again, you don't have to suffer in silence. People can help you.
It is also, I think it's beneficial to you, your organization, and any organizations involved with the mental health side of things in the world of sports, because there have been so many athletes who have come out in the last couple years who have talked about it and openly talked about their struggles with mental health, and as a result of it, the reasons why it has made it easier for you. And as a fly ball by Jacob Sharp is caught in left center field by Henry Mendez, so the inning comes to an end and gives us a chance. Pam, if you don't mind, we'll stick around here and talk a little bit through the break. but it allows with athletes coming out that I think it just allows some younger people to realize it. But I think even more so, like, look, if a professional athlete can say, you know what, I have those issues as well, I think it makes it easier for the common average everyday working Joe to feel that way, that it's okay as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely acceptable, and also helps people to understand that mental illness doesn't pick and choose who it affects. Everyone. Doesn't matter what your gender is, what your race is, where you come from, what your socioeconomic background, what your profession is. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's a guy like Elaine Johnson for the Philadelphia Eagles, who happens to be 6'5" and 350 pounds, if somebody like that can come out and say it, you know what, if somebody as big and as strong as that guy can come out and say, you know what, I've had my dealings with it, it helps anybody realize that, you know what, don't think that you're too tough. That, you know what, if you need help, reach out for help.
Yeah, no, it definitely puts a face to it and it normalizes it.
So, Pam, if people are out there and they're in that situation, how can they reach out for help?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that you can do that. Again, we have a crisis intervention provider that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Holcomb, their number 610. Oh my God, I'm going to forget the number. 379-2007.
There you go, good for you.
And also our office, the Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities Program, our number is 610-478-3271. You could call any provider. You could walk into any mental health, any drug and alcohol provider, and people will point you in the right direction.
And if you're here in the ballpark tonight and you're listening in, you can stop by. You have a table down down in the plaza. They can stop by tonight before they leave.
Actually, we're pretty well cleaned up now. Actually, we handed out most of our stuff,
that's good.
So that's always good.
Good
Yes.
for you. All right, well, Pam, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all that you do within your organization, and thank you for partnering with the Reading Fightin Phils. We appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you for the talk.
We'll come back. We'll take a quick break and be back with the bottom half of the second inning from Baseball Town right after this. Bottom half of the second inning, and Seth Beer will lead it off for the Phils after the Fisher Cats go a quick 1-2-3. Nice job by Mitch Noonborn to settle down quickly, get a couple of pop-ups and a fly ball to Henry Mendez to end the top half of the second inning. And Seth Beer will get things started for the Fightin Phils here in the bottom of the second inning with a line drive into right field for the Phils. Second hit of the night.
Yeah, Seth Beer was slumping big time heading into the Harrisburg series, but worked on a couple of things, tinkered some things down in the batting cages, and seemed like he's hit a stride again. Had a few hits to end the week last week for Seth Beer, so another hit for him. That's hits in 4 straight for Seth Beer.
So the Phils with a leadoff base runner this time as opposed to the 2-out base runner they got in the first. They end up with 2 base runners in the first, come up empty. Robert Moore now will bat. And the first pitch to the switch hitter, batting for the left-hand side against Harrison, is low for a ball. This inning brought to you by Cornwall Manor, an active senior living not-for-profit community in scenic Cornwall, Pennsylvania, outside of Lebanon. As Seth Beer takes his lead off of first, and the 1-0 pitch to Robert Moore is lined into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Beer held up for a second, and now he's going to take the turn and head towards third. The throw will be into second base, and Robert Moore beats that in with a head-first slide, and the Phils have 2 on and nobody out in the second inning.
Good start to that inning for the Fightin Phils. Moore gets a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that he lines at 100 off the bat. Beer at the hold up, still gets the third, and Moore aggressive as always, but a good read for him. He gets into second base with a slide.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Beer must have just lost sight of the baseball because he kind of stopped about 3/4 between first and second, then realized, all right, now he found it again in the grass in center field and still headed to third. It's a good thing he did because Robert Moore was right on his heels, diving into second base with a double. So 2 on, nobody out for Leandro Pineda. And the first pitch to Pineda lifts this one straight up behind home plate. Jacob Sharp, the catcher, off with the mask, fouls the breeze and holds on to the baseball. And a foul out for 1 out here in the second.
Yeah, a bit of an exhale if you're New Hampshire. Was a snow cone grab by the catcher Sharp. So Little sigh of relief there for New Hampshire. You got one guy. You still have second and third one out. So we'll see what they do with the infield. Looks like they're going to come up. So Fergus, see if he can just elevate one into the air deep.
So the frustrations continue for Leandro Pineda. The batting average now below the 200 mark again. And first pitch with 2 on and nobody out. Fouls out to the catcher, an unproductive at bat. Fergus at 147 on the season. As Jake said, infield up for Cade Fergus with 2 on now and 1 out. First pitch on the inside corner for a called strike 1. Fergus really crowds the plate, which is one of the reasons why he's been hit by a pitch as often as he has, but it also is the reason why that pitch on the inside corner seems in tight to him. A 1 pitch is outside. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Fergus enters tonight tied for 4th in the league in hit by pitch. He's at 6. Yeah, he's right on top of that plate, which gives you the opportunity to really cover the entire plate as well.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fergus quickly in a 1-ball-and-2-strike hole. Fergus just 2 for 18 on the road trip. The two more home runs. He's now got 5 home runs on the year. It's been a very feast or famine kind of season for Cade Fergus. 1-ball-2-strike pitch is way up high. He does not chase. It's 2-2.
When you factor in his time with Lehigh Valley, too, he's at 10, which is tied for 2nd in the Phillies organization. You know who's in 1st? Otto Kemp.
That's right. He had 14 before his promotion. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Fergus. Drives this one into left center field. Looks like Martinez, no, Brown is going to call for it, comes in on it. Beer is going to tag up. The throw is way up the first base line, and Seth Beer will come across. It's a sacrifice fly and an RBI, and the Phils are on the board first.
Yeah, I thought it may have been a bit of an aggressive send by third base coach Michael Jones, but I think the other end of the coin is, which I really like this from Jones and Seth Beer right there, is that you force Brown to make the throw. And look, they got scouting reports and everything like that. It was not a great throw from Brown. So clearly they saw something that they liked, and even though Brown had momentum behind him, they said, you know what, we're still going to test him, and it paid off. Throw was up the first base line.
So the Phils draw the first run of the ball game. Robert Moore still in scoring position at second base now in 2 outs for Aiden Miller. And the first pitch to Miller is inside for a ball. Miller got ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes, but then ended up striking out to start the ball game. Miller with 16 RBIs on the season after picking up 4 more last week. 1-0 pitch, little check swing looper that's going to fall into center field for a base hit. Robert Moore will score easily, and the Phils lead it 2-0.
How about that? Baseball is a great game, Bob. Aiden Miller checks his swing, somehow makes contact with it, and he drops it in right center field. He gets an RBI, Moore scores. How about that?
It's a great game depending upon your perspective, because I think if you're Devereaux Harrison, you're thinking it's a stupid game right now as Aiden Miller gets himself a little looping single, and that quickly the Phils are up 2-0. RBI number 17 of the season for Aiden Miller. He's at first base now with 2 outs. And the first pitch to Herson DiMartini is up high for a ball. DiMartini swung at the first pitch he saw and flew out to left field his first time up. DiMartini hitting at 284, 10 doubles, 8 home runs, and 30 RBIs in his time at Jersey Shore. And they've got Aiden Miller picked off. Williams will run it back towards second, and Kay Doty, the shortstop, will apply the tag, and Aiden Miller will go down as a caught stealing, and that will end the second inning. For the Phils in the second, 2 runs. They did it on 3 hits. There were no errors, and ultimately nobody left on base. We are through 2, and the Fightin' Phils lead it 2-0. We want to thank our good friends at Pepsi for presenting the 2025 season here in Baseball Town. Go fight Phillies and drink more Pepsi as we head to the top half of the third inning, and it'll be the top of the order for the Fisher Cats here in the third after a highly efficient second inning for Mitch Newborn. He walked a tightrope in the first with the bases loaded, got out of that with no runs surrendered, and then gets the Fisher Cats 1-2-3 in the second. So Anderson Paulino, who started the game with a base hit for the Fisher Cats, will lead it off. And the first pitch, taps it on the left side. Aiden Miller cheating up the middle, tries to get over, and it goes through the glove and through the legs, and Paulino is safe at first. We'll see how they call it.
I'd think that'd have to be a base hit, not a routine. I mean, Miller fields it. I still don't know if he gets him because Paulino's got some speed. Still waiting for what the call is going to be, but it looks like it's going to be a hit. That's the right call.
Miller was cheating him up the middle because Paulino is a left-hand hitter, and the ball is a little squirted very short and to his right. As Charles McAdoo now will bat. McAdoo, Paulino way off the bag at first, and Newborn now will throw. Paulino is
dancing.
Dancing target off that first base bag. Did a lot of that his first time up and may have almost got himself picked off there if Newborn had been a little bit quicker with his delivery. And the pitch to McAdoo is way up high for a ball.
Between last week at Harrisburg and now that play by Paulino, Reading has just been burnt by a lot of just softly hit balls. I mean, nothing you can really do about it either. Just bad luck.
Newborn's pitch is up high again. It's 2-0. McAdoo took Henry Mendez to the warning track in left field his first time up. Has 3 home runs on the year, 11 RBIs. Batting average now below the 200 mark, 198 as he stands in. Paulino again way off the bag. And this one is driven straight up, shallow left field. Mendez coming in, still coming in. Now Fergus calls him off, and the center fielder will take it for out number 1.
Ball was hit a mile high, and there's been a few of those tonight, too. I don't know if anyone's yelling, but like when Paulino starts to dance off, I hope someone's going, step off, throw it over, because if you get off quickly, you have a chance to pick him off.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be driving Newborn a little bit nuts, and certainly Paul McIntosh behind the plate a little bit as well, because he's way off the bag. If Newborn steps off, he's got him dead to rights. As Borfin stands in and takes the first pitch over for a called strike 1. Borfin walked his first time up. Again, Fisher Cats loaded the bases in the first inning. With 1 out, Newborn got out of it. Paulino does take off here. McIntosh with the throw down, and he is out at second base. So all that dancing ends up to a caught stealing for Anderson Paulino, and suddenly there are 2 outs here in the third inning.
They're called stealing of the year for Paul McIntosh. Not a great jump for Paulino, and looked like at the end it was kind of just running through quicksand. Like the ball bounced, got there, and more still plenty of time to get the tag down. So not a great jump, but also a really good throw from McIntosh.
So the count now 1 ball and 1 strike to Borfin, and that's over for a called strike. And I will keep an eye on Anderson Paulino as he came to the dugout from second base, kind of checking that right hand. May have jammed a finger sliding in on the head first slide at the bag. So 2 outs, now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jay Sporfino. That's way up high, it's 2-2.
And you get Borfin here, you're looking at another 1-2-3 inning. 38 pitches for Newborn, bullpen's quiet, so let's see if they would give him another frame.
2-2 pitch, he beats it foul and stays alive.
Newborn has started before. I mean, he's gone 5-6 innings, a lot in his career. So it's not a new thing to him. It's just a matter of how stretched out he is. And, I mean, he's scheduled to start today and Sunday. So I think the hope is to stretch him out.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Borfin. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that will do it for the Fisher Cats here in the third. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and ultimately nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the third on the Reading Fight Phillies Radio Network. It's 2-0. Fightin' Phillies on top. Bottom half of the third inning brought to you by Swartz Culleton PC. You can expect reliable and experienced attorneys who are committed to getting you justice after a serious personal injury. Call Swartz Culleton today at 1-800-JUSTICE. 2-0, Fightin Phillies on top. Carson DiMartini, Keaton Anthony, and Henry Mendez will be the batters to line up here for the Phillies in the bottom half of the third inning. Again, Michael Jones coaching at third base tonight. Carl Ellison at first, with Al Padrique having his week's vacation this week. So Michael Jones swiftling from first base to third base. Carl Ellison coming out of the friendly confines of the first base dugout to work back at the first base coaching box, where he spent most of the 2024 season.
The dugout that he said was very nice this morning.
On multiple times this morning on Mornings with Mike, he talked about how nice the new dugouts are. So they took him out of it and put him at first base. First pitch to DiMartini's outside for a ball. And Carson DiMartini played at Virginia Tech, drafted by the Phillies last year in the 4th round. And he lines this one into right field. That's going to be a base hit. So his first double-A hit is a leadoff single for DiMartini here in the third. DiMartini scuffled a little bit early on to begin the season at Jersey Shore, but obviously picked it up. Again, his numbers very solid, and thus the promotion. 284 batting average, 10 doubles, 8 home runs, and 30 RBIs. And so he is a leadoff base runner. The Phils had a leadoff base runner to start last inning, and it brought him around to score with Seth Beer, as Keaton Anthony now steps in and takes one low and away for a ball. So the Phils put 2 across in the second, and a leadoff base runner here in the third. And a 1-0 count to Keaton Anthony, who leads the team in RBIs with 29. And lifts this one down the first base line. That's going to drift foul. Williams will give it a chase, but it is in the first base grandstands. On another beautiful sunny night here in baseball town, a good crowd on hand. Many of them wearing the Are You OK t-shirts, the throwback jerseys. It's part of the Strikeout the Stigma night here at the ballpark. 1 ball and 1 strike to Anthony. Lines this one. That is sinking into right center field. Is going to fall for a base hit. Brown will cut it off, but DiMartini read it well. He is headed to third. Anthony rounds the bag too far. They throw behind, and they will pick him off, diving back into first base. So it'll be a base hit for Anthony. DiMartini ends up at third, but Anthony gunned down back at first base.
Yeah, because the thing is, off the bat, it's in front of Anthony, and you're thinking that's going to split the gap, so he makes a big turn, and then kind of has to put the brakes on late as Brown got to it quickly. But at the same time, I think Anthony slipped or lost his footing a little bit, so wasn't able to get back. But so you don't want to see that. But you got DiMartini on third. Let's see if Mendez can do a job here and get him home with the infield up.
Great read by DiMartini, knowing that ball was going to fall, and he heads to third. So he is a base runner at third base, and as Jake said, infield up for Henry Mendez, and he takes up high for a ball. Mendez worked a walk his first time up. So again, runner at third base now, 1 out here in the third. Phil's on top, 2-0, looking for more. Mendez takes another one up high. It's 2-0. Mendez second on the Phils and RBIs with 25. Two-0 pitch. Back up the middle, but it's knocked down by the pitcher. And Harrison will run it to first base, and DiMartini cannot move. 2 down.
Well, 2 quick outs after the DiMartini single. A bit unconventional. Running 6 hits already tonight. Let's see if McIntosh with 2 outs can add a 7th and give Redding another run.
McIntosh, a strikeout victim, his first time up. As we said, McIntosh last week, 3 home runs and 6 RBIs in the series against Harrisburg. Now with 15 RBIs on the year, looking for a big one here. And Harrison winds and delivers. Off-speed pitch, and he swings and misses. It's 1 no balls and a strike to Paul McIntosh. McIntosh came over from the Miami Marlins as part of the Jesus Luzardo trade. And the 0-1 pitch is down low and away. It's 1-1. Former West Virginia Mountaineer back in the batter's box at 1 ball and 1 strike, right-handed hitter. This one right field. Forfeit back to the warning track, and he'll have enough room to make the catch for the third and final out of the third. So the Phils cannot get that run across in the third inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a 1-man left, 3 complete. It remains 2-0. Fightin' Phils on top. Two nothing our score. Fightin' Phils on top of the New Hampshire Fisher Cats as we head to the top half of the fourth inning and take over play-by-play. Our broadcast partner, Jake Starr.
Thank you very much, Bob. Top half of the fourth inning, as he said, 2-0 our score. Fightin' Phils on top. A reminder also that every Tuesday, all active military and veterans receive $3 off box seats thanks to Burke's Oral Surgery and Dental Implant Center. Look right on hand on this beautiful Tuesday evening in Baseball Town. They started off a bit stormy, but skies have cleared up. It is a beautiful day to what should be a great week here at the ballpark. So 4-5-6 due up for the Fisher Cats. Peyton Williams will lead off as Mitch Newborn is back out for inning at number 4 of work. 40 pitches through 3 for Newborn. Season high is 48. So got to think this is probably his final inning of work. And the first pitch to Williams is bit out for a ball. It's 1-0. Williams 1 for 1 in today's ball game. Had a single back in the first inning. Slowly hit ground ball down the third base line. The 1-0 from Newborn is there for a called strike. Outside corner, it's 1-1. Carson DiMartini at third is playing closer to the deep hole at short. Miller at short is shaded towards the middle against the lefty bat Williams. 1-1. That gets the outside corner for a called strike. 1-2. Slider at 79 from Mitch Newborn. Williams 1 for 3 in his career against Newborn. All those have come this year. The 1-2 is bounced. Good block by McIntosh. It's 2-2. Williams, a 24-year-old, 7th-round pick of the Blue Jays in 2022. Went to the University of Iowa, where he was teammates with current Phil's first baseman Keaton Anthony. Anthony played mostly outfield at Iowa, while Williams anchored the first base position. Two-two home. Swung on, fouled straight back, and it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-0 Fightin' Phils on top in this first game of 6 between Reading and New Hampshire. Also the first game of a 12-game homestand here in Baseball Town. 2-2 home. Williams swings, fouls it back again. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reading does have bullpen action getting started. Josh Hetchka, the sidewinding righty, is beginning to throw in the bullpen in left field. 2-2, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Third strikeout for Mitch Newborn tonight. He has punched out back-to-back batters, and that'll bring Ryan McCarty, the DH, to the plate. He was the other strikeout victim in tonight's game.
Yeah, really nice job there by Newborn to just pull the string on that off-speed pitch that Williams way out in front.
So McCarty in from the right side. Recently rejoined this Fisher Cats team from AAA Buffalo. First pitch home is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. McCarty, a local product from Yardley, Pennsylvania. Played his college ball at Division III, Penn State Abington. About an hour and a half from here, so got to think McCarty's got some family here today. 0-1, misses a bit outside with a slider. It's 1-1. McCarty, a strikeout look in his first time up. It's 1 for 2 on the season against Mitch Newborn. The pitch home. Swung on, line drive, left center field gap. Mendez races over towards the alley, and he'll make the catch. Good running catch by Henry Mendez, who had a handful of those last week in a big left center field alley at FMB Field. So 2 outs in the inning. That'll bring Cade Doty to the plate.
Mendez has really gotten better and better, and this season goes on getting balls on either side of him. He's very good, as Jake said, closing in that left center field gap. But we've also seen him make some nice running catches as well towards the third base line. But he's got very good range out there for a left fielder.
First pitch, Doty squares the bunt, gets it down. Newborn backhands, fields it well, jump throw to first, and it goes down the right field line. Gets away from Keaton Anthony. Doty gets the second. He'll stop there. A good job by Pineda from right to race it and back that up. See what they rule that. I mean, there has to be an error for to get the second, but we'll see if it's a hit and an error or.
Right, that's the only question, whether it's a hit and an error or a two-base error. It's one of those plays that Newborn should have just.
There is a hit on the board.
Yep, just should have put it in his pocket. You say that a lot, that there's just plays where you're just better off to just eat it, and that's one. Now the error's up as well, and that's definitely the call. I think he beats it out. Newborn should have just held on to it, tried to make that jump throw, and threw it away.
2 outs for Martinez as Newborn steps off. Very similar play last Saturday in Harrisburg. Andrew Bechtold tried to do a similar thing and once again airmailed the throw in the right field. First pitch to Martinez is taken in for a ball. It's 1-0. And I think in a situation like that, especially 2 outs, you just got to eat that and put a runner on first. 2 outs. You got the 7-hitter coming up. It's Gabby Martinez. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs to him. Newborn from the stretch fires. This is outside 2-0.
Yeah, everything about it is wrong. You're going in the opposite direction as the pitcher coming off the mound. Quite frankly, you can do some damage to yourself. I mean, you can injure yourself in one of those kind of plays as well when you're jumping up in the air and trying to throw off balance. Nothing good is very frequently going to happen on a play like that.
2-0 is a bit off the plate. It's 3 balls, no strikes. And like I said earlier, our field's just been killed by softly hit infield singles the last couple of weeks. So 3-0 the count, 2 outs, 2-0 Reading, top of the 4th. Newborn checks at second, deals home. That is on the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. That was pitch number 55 for Newborn. You wonder if this is his last batter no matter what. Martinez 0 for 1 tonight, has not seen Newborn before this evening. The pitch. Swung on, in on the hands, popped up. Miller at short, waves his arm, says he's got it. Trots in a couple of steps, shuffles to his left, and the shortstop makes the catch. And that will retire the side here in the 4th. No runs for the Fisher Cats. They had a hit, there was an error, and 1 man left on base. We've played 3.5 on to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Fightin' Phil's on top. It's 2-0. Klein is proud to be the official transportation provider of the Reading Fightin' Phils. Klein Transportation gets our Phils through all their road trips throughout the 2025 season. For more information, go to KleinTransportation.com. So bottom half of the fourth inning, 2-0 Fightin' Phil still on top. Devereaux Harrison's back out for another inning of work. And it'll be 6, 7, 8 due up for Reading. Seth Beer will lead things off. Beer is 1 for 1 in tonight's ballgame. Singled and scored a run back in the second. Hits in his last 4, which came on the heels of a 0 for 27 stretch for Seth Beer. So it's got to feel good for him. First pitch home, Beer swings and misses. It's 0-1. Beer had 3 hits against New Hampshire a month ago, biggest of which being a go-ahead home run in the 7th inning of the finale of that series. The 0-1, he swings, fouls it straight back, 0-2. Also, this Fightin' Phil's team with the addition of Carson DiMartini. Make a bar or make a drink specials off of some of these players' names. You got the Seth Beer, the Aiden Miller, 0-2. Beer takes up 1-2. And you got the Carson DiMartini.
There you go.
Aiden Miller, of course, just turned 21 years of age yesterday.
Yeah, he can actually get one now.
Ball and 2 strikes the Beer. Here's the pitch. Swung on and he pops it up. It was a curveball he got out in front of and under. Into center. Brown tracks in. To his left. Makes the catch. That's out number 1. Beer's retired, and that'll bring Robert Moore to the plate.
There have been a lot of balls lifted in this game on both sides. Lots of infield pop-ups on the side of things for the Fisher Cats, and the Phils have had their fair share of balls lifted straight up in the air as well.
So Robert Moore digs in. He doubled his first time up. Was his 7th 2-bagger of the season. In the first pitch home, Moore will take it for a called strike, 0-1. He had 20 doubles a year ago. Led Reading, a number that's already been surpassed this year, as Keaton Anthony has 21. 0-1, Moore takes it outside, ball and a strike. Second time Harrison's seen Reading this year. 5 2/3 in a win on May 17th. 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Next pitch is up for a ball, 2-1. Moore, 215 on the season, 48th game played for Moore. He's got 5 home runs, 20 runs driven in. 2-1, outside corner for a strike, 2-2. Cutter at 83 from Devereaux Harrison. 2-0, Reading at top. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Moore swings, fouls it straight back off the netting. It stays 2-2. About a week and a half shy of the first day of summer. Sun still very much up as we surpass 8 o'clock. 2-2, Moore swings, drills it left center field. Martinez back, he's at the track, it's over his head and one hops the wall. Brown cuts it off, Moore cruises into second base with his second double tonight, and the Fightin' Phils have a man in scoring position for Leandro Pineda.
Well, it's 2 good at bats now for Robert Moore. It's been a struggle. He got off to a great start this season, but then the calendar struck May, and since the beginning of May, it has been a rough stretch indeed. He lost his job at the top of the batting order, but still very much a piece of the puzzle, and there's so much he can contribute to this team. And now back-to-back doubles for Robert Moore, and again, another runner in scoring position for the Phils if they can take advantage of it.
Moore's second other double of the day is Reading's 7th hit tonight. Pineda digs in, Moore gets the lead. First pitch, inside, it's 1-0. Second 2-double game of the season for Moore, last of which came May the 7th against Binghamton. Pineda up, he was strong against the Fisher Cats last month, hit .421 in that series. 1-0, Pineda will take that at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Devereaux Harrison at 59 pitches this evening. He's already allowed 7 hits, just 2 runs. And the 1-1. Made a swing and a line drive foul down the right field line. It's 1-2. Kicks off the sidewall in front of the dugout suite where Chase Borfin will run and track it down and right. As we were saying, yes, sun's still very much up. 8 o'clock. Best time of the year. Spring, summer, nothing like it.
Yep, official first day of summer next week in the homestand.
Schools are pretty much out at this point.
Yep.
1-2. Count to Pineda. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball foul down the first base side again. First base coach Carl Ellison will retrieve it and throw it into the dugout suite.
Was not a good at bat first time around for Pineda. Gets to the plate with runners at second and third and nobody out.
First pitch,
pitch, pops it straight up behind the plate for a foul out.
1-2 strikes to Leandro Pineda. Moore leads off second. Here's the pitch. He swings, crushes it deep to right field. Borfin goes back. He has room, makes the catch. Moore was off the bag. He has to head back and cannot tag. So it's just a fly ball to right. It looked better off the bat than I think it was, and Moore must have felt the same thing because he was way off the bag. So he has to retreat, and that brings Cade Fergus up with 2 outs.
Yeah, I don't think that that Pineda got the good part of the bat on it. I think it looked good, but it didn't really sound like he got it all, and Borfin pretty much had it in his sights the whole way.
So here's Fergus, 2 outs in the inning, 2-0 Reading. Here's the pitch. Outside, it's 1-0. Fergus, a good at-bat his first time up. Sacrifice fly to center, scored Seth Beer. He's got a man in scoring position for him in Robert Moore. 1-0. Top of the zone for a strike, it's 1-1. Fergus, pair of home runs last week. Second of which was a moonshot, 440 feet over the ribbon board in left center field in Harrisburg. 1-1. Fergus takes it low and away, 2 balls and a strike.
He's shown great power in this season. And as you said, when he went up to Lehigh Valley, he showed even better power. But that's not Cade Fergus's specialty. It has been this year, but it is not his specialty. He's a guy who's got to hit line drives and use his speed.
2-1. Fergus swings, hits one in the air, high towards center, not deep. Brown started back. Then the center fielder comes in, and he will make the catch. And that will retire the side in the 4th. No run to the Fightin Phils. They had another hit, no errors. Another man left on base. We played 4 to the 5th we go. Fightin Phils on top, 2-0. So after 4 more scoreless innings from Mitch Newborn, his day is done. Gives way to the bullpen, and the first man in is the right-handed sidewinder, Josh Hedgka.
Hedgka's been back and forth between Jersey Shore and here in Reading, back up with his 2nd appearance as a Fightin Phil and making his 5th appearance overall for Reading. No decisions and no earned run average as well. 4 2/3 innings pitched and giving up just 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, and 5 walks.
Take a look at our Fightin Phils alumni report presented by Deer Country, and who else but Otto Kemp in his first home big league game. Had 3 hits, a line drive to left center field, a beautiful bunt hit in the 11th inning to help lead to the Phillies win, scored a run as well. So Otto Kemp, good start to his big league career, caught up on Saturday morning to the Phillies. Our alumni report presented by Deer Country. Devontae Brown leads off the 5th, 8-9-1 due up. Reading leads 2-0. First pitch home is over for a called strike, 0-1. Phillies in action tonight. McAble has a start. I believe it's 3-3 right now.
It's 3-2. It's Chicago on top.
Chicago on top.
3 solo home runs for the Cubs. 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th.
0-1. The Brown is swung on a line drive, sinking into center field for a base hit. So leadoff single for Devontae Brown to start the 5th.
Yeah,
and that'll bring Jacob Sharp to the plate.
It was obviously not nearly as effective of a start as Abel had in his first two, and he is actually done for the night. A lot of pitches thrown. He was up around the 90 pitch mark. Got out of a bases-loaded jam in the fourth inning, and now Tyler Banks has come on to pitch the top of the fifth.
So Jacob Sharp, the catcher, digs in, ninth man in the order. 0 for 1 tonight, a fly out the left, back in the second. First pitch home is bit down and in, 1-0. So the final line on Mitch Newborn, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So his last 2 starts, both 4 shutout innings. Navigated a tough first out of a bases-loaded jam and was pretty smooth sailing from there. The 1-0 is been inside for a ball. It's 2-0. Hetchka, 28 years old. Phillies got him in a trade with the Mets this offseason. Has pitched here before. Has been with Binghamton previously. Next pitch, swing, and a foul ball straight back by Sharp. It's 2-1.
If you throw out 1 inning in the series against Erie, it's been a really solid season for Mitch Newborn. I mean, he got blasted for 3 home runs coming in relief in that series against Erie after he pitched great in the first game. But ultimately that series, and again, he came in the night, it was raining, the wind was blowing out. He got tattooed for 3 home runs in that inning.
Pitch home, swung on, fly ball left towards the line. Mendez over and in, it'll fall in front of him for a base hit. So back-to-back hits for Erie. Put runners on first and second, still nobody away, and that'll flip the lineup card over for the 3rd time and bring the second baseman Edinson Paulino up, who's 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, Sharp didn't hit it hard, and it's to his advantage that he didn't, because Mendez was making a beeline for it, but just sinking too fast. And so now another soft single for the Fisher Cats, but they've got something going here in the 5th.
Yeah, another tough spot here. 13 combined hits between the teams, but just 2 runs to show for it on either side. 2-0 Reading leads. Edinson Paulino digs in. Ground ball would be huge here for Reading. First pitch is outside. It's 1-0. Pitch number 7 of this inning for Josh Hetchka, who is yet to allow an earned run in his 2 stints with the Fightin Phils. 4 2/3 innings pitched. The 1-0 is inside. 2-0 to Edinson Paulino. Lefty Paulino up. DeMartini's in at the cutout at third. About a step and a dive off the bag. The 2-0. Outside, it's 3-0. Miller at short, shaded towards the bag. So big hole on the left side between Miller and DeMartini. More shaded towards the right side at second. Anthony not holding the runner on and deep at the hole at first. About 2 steps off the bag. 3-0 is on the outside corner for a called strike, 3-1. Outfield play straight up against Paulino, normal depth. Three and 1, Hetchka from the third base side will fire home. That is over again for a called strike right at the belt. So Hetchka back in this count. 3-2 to Paulino, 2 for 2 in tonight's ball game. Has elevated his average to 248. Hetchka looking for a big out here. Righty's ready, and the payoff pitch. Swung on and line foul, left field line. Goes out of play into the 67 club on the third base side. And the count stays full, 3-2. Paulino acquired by the Blue Jays in a trade from Boston last year. And the 3-2. That hits him. Would have been ball 4 regardless, but it goes down as a hit by pitch. So back-to-back singles and a hit by pitch to start this inning. Loads the bases for Charles McAdoo, who is 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game, but you're going right into the teeth of this New Hampshire lineup here.
Yep. Problems now for Hetchka. That's the last thing you wanted to do in that situation, is to get Paulino on board. But came back and worked right back into the count at 3-2, but then missed way inside ball 4. Well, actually not ball 4 because he hit him with the pitch.
Yeah.
But regardless, he's on base, and now base is loaded, nobody out.
First pitch to McAdoo, big swing and a foul back. It's 0-1.
Phil's hoping for a double play here. DeMartini was even with the bag at third. Now he backs up a couple steps. Miller and Moore in the middle of the infield playing at double play depth.
The infield's back, so they're very much willing to trade 2 outs for a run. Next pitch, low and away, 1-1. Good job by McIntosh to reach and keep it in front of him. McAdoo, a right-handed bat, 0 for 2. He struggled this year. He's hitting 196 through 45 games so far. 1-1. Outside again, 2-1. You got nowhere to put him if you're Josh Hetchka. You're down to the count, 2 balls and a strike. Couple of flyouts tonight for Charles McAdoo. Pitch home. Swung on, tapped, third base line. DeMartini charges. Only play is the first. Wide throw. Anthony holds the bag, though. 5-3 goes to put out. Run does score in Brown. Everybody else up a base. So it will be a ground out for McAdoo. Does get RBI number 12. And with 1 out, that'll bring Jace Borfin to the plate in a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, that's the only play and the right play for DeMartini. He had nothing else he could do was to try to get the batter McAdoo at first base. So you can see the run, makes it a 1-run game. And now DeMartini will come up even again with the bag at third. Everybody else is back.
First pitch swung on, and it's lofted foul in the grandstand on the right side. It's 0-1. Yeah, so Reading here once again willing to exchange an out for a run.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, to be honest with you, in a 2-1 game, that they're essentially conceding the tying run on a ground ball.
I think with the volume of hits they're getting tonight, I guess they're confident that they'll get a few more runs home. 0-1 misses out. It's 1-1. No bullpen action for the Fightin Phils. But even if Hetchka gets through this frame, it's probably his only inning of work tonight. The 1-1. Swinging a ground ball foul. It's 1-2 to Jace Borfin, who has walked and struck out in tonight's ball game. To 11 hitters, driven in 25 on the season. Second and third, 1 out. Top 5, 2-1 Reading. And Hetchka fires. Swing, ground ball first. Anthony has it. Only play is 2 first. He'll touch the bag. Another run scores. That's sharp. And that'll tie the game at 2. Paulino goes up to third. 3 unassisted on the putout. RBI number 26 for Borfin. And that'll bring Peyton Williams to the plate now in a new ball game.
Yeah, you're still not out of the woods because you still have a runner at third base now, and the go-ahead run's now at third. That's, again, why I'm a little surprised that they are essentially conceding that run. Let them tie the game up, and now it's still in a position for the Fisher Cats to take the lead here if Williams comes through.
So 2 outs for Peyton Williams. First pitch, inside corner for a strike to the lefty. It's 0-1.
By the way, the Paulino dance show continues now as he's dancing down the third base line with DeMartini basically playing at shortstop with big left-hand hitter and Peyton Williams at the plate.
Miller behind the bag at second. The 0-1 is swung on, grounded foul. Right side, it's 0-2. So we'll see if Hetchka can get Williams here, keep the damage to just the 2 runs as Edinson Paulino gets his lead off of third.
But that is significant because if a ball does get away from McIntosh in any way, Paulino is halfway down the baseline.
Yeah, he basically just ran 45 feet down the line. Here's the 0-2. Outside, it's 1-2.
And he has gotten in the head of both Mitch Noonborn and a little bit with Hetchka there. You cannot help but notice it.
Especially when you're a righty.
And Hetchka's on the far side of the rubber, so he's even closer to him.
Williams swings, fouls the 1-2 back off the netting. It'll stay a ball and 2 strikes.
What makes Paulino good at it is he makes it really look like he's taken off. And instinctually, you can't help but notice that he is.
And you're 1 flinch away, and it's a balk.
Absolutely correct, 100%. It's a great job by him.
1-2, 2 outs to Peyton Williams. Pitch home. Outside, 2-2 to the lefty. We just love if DeMartini just sneaks behind him. They have some sort of pickoff play on. They're not going to do it with 2 outs, but here's the 2-2. Outside, 3-2. So, look, if you're Paulino, why not? No one's holding you on.
DeMartini's 40 feet away from getting to the third base bag, so he can do all he wants.
Next pitch.
Yeah,
that's
a
a balk.
balk. He just stepped off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. That's on Edinson Paulino gets credit for that run right there. He got to Michael Jones is going to come out to argue it. Now it looks like the umpires are going to talk about it. I don't know if Hedgka thought time was called, but he literally just kind of stepped away and just kind of lobbed it into McIntosh at the plate.
Yeah, Michael Jones came out of the dugout, acting manager this week, but the umpires called a conference very quickly, so clearly either someone didn't feel certain in their call or somebody else saw something.
Yeah, Hedgka, like I said, Hedgka just kind of, he didn't step off necessarily, but he just kind of stepped to the side and then just lobbed the ball to McIntosh as if it was a no pitch. So
yeah, he stepped off and goes
right.
home.
Did he think that
Paulino was going?
Did he think that Paulino was going? Did he think time was called? I have no idea. Oh, now they're going to bring Brent LaValle over, so that's got to tell you that Paulino's coming back to third base.
Why wouldn't they just point to third base then?
Well, yeah, but why are they talking to him? If they're not putting him back on third, why are you talking to New Hampshire's manager?
Yeah, they're standing just down the third base line.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got to come back out.
Yep. So that's the only thing I can figure out, that somewhere the time was called in some capacity.
So it stays 3-2. Looks like they just go down as a pickoff attempt at home because he stepped off and threw home. So 3-2 count, 2 outs to Peyton Williams here. Paulino back on third in a 2-2 game. The pitch swung on, ground ball. Second, Moore dies under his glove in the right field base hit. So it doesn't matter ultimately. Peyton Williams gets himself an RBI single. Paulino scores, and that will make it a 3-2 ball game. 3 straight at-bats, 3 straight RBI for the Fisher Cats, and that'll bring Ryan McCarty to the plate with 2 outs. So McCarty in from the right side. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Paul McIntosh looks like we'll go out and talk to his pitcher, Hedgka, who's at 27 pitches tonight.
And nobody's throwing yet in the bullpen.
Here comes Brad Bergeson.
Yeah, there's some people about to get up and begin to throw. It looks like, is that Nelson Alvarez, I believe, who just got up to throw. Yep.
Nelson Alvarez, the righty, is throwing.
But he literally just got up.
So they're going to probably stall as much time as humanly possible here. 3 runs in the inning for Harrisburg, 3 hits, a hit by pitch, a balk that was taken away. 28 pitches in total for Josh Hedgka, who had flirted with some damage before, but had done a good job kind of avoiding it. But this inning, he's unable to do so. So Ryan McCarty digs in from the right side. 2 outs, 3-2 ball game. New Hampshire on top. Peyton Williams leads off first here in the top of the 5th inning. That's been a very long 5th inning. First pitch, McCarty takes outside. It's 1-0. McCarty 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game. He has struck out. He's flown out to left. And right now, Hedgka is trying to get out of what has been a tumultuous inning for the Fightin' Phils. The 1-0. Gets the outside corner. It's 1-1. Change of at 86 from Josh Hedgka. Definitely his only inning of work tonight, you have to assume. So Reading will need 4 innings out of the bullpen the rest of the way. The 1-1 is swung on, fouled straight back. It's 1-2.
Yeah, but the main thing right now for Hedgka is you got to keep it here. Make sure that New Hampshire cannot add on to this. But a single, a soft single, and then the hit by pitch on a 3-2 count. And that hit by pitch is right now the difference on the scoreboard because that is run number 3.
It's been a long inning defensively for the R-Phils. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs to Ryan McCarty. Here's the pitch. Swing, and it's popped up, out of play, foul. It stays 1-2. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Jake Starr, joined alongside by my broadcast partner, Bob McCool. Reading 2 runs in the second. They've had plenty of other opportunities. New Hampshire, though, was taking advantage with 3 runs here in the 5th. Hedgega's ready. Here's the pitch home. Swung on, fly ball, out of play, foul. It stays 1-2. It was forced scoreless for Mitch Newborn. Did scatter 4 hits, 3 strikeouts and a walk. And New Hampshire's bats have taken advantage here of Hedgega. 7th man of the plate this inning is Ryan McCarty. And the pitch. Swung on, fouled back again and out of play. It stays 1-2. 34th pitch of the inning for Hedgega. McCarty, a .286 hitter, recently sent back to New Hampshire from AAA Buffalo, where he spent the last couple of weeks. The 1-2. Swung on, fly ball towards center. Not deep, in is Fergus to his left, and he makes the catch. And that will retire the side here in the 5th. In the inning, Harrisburg scored 3 runs. They did it on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 1 man is left on base. We're halfway home on this Tuesday night in Baseball Town. We will head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. New Hampshire leads it 3-2. This inning is presented by Cornwall Manor, a unique and charming community nestled on a 190-acre wooded campus with many walking trails, including the Lebanon County Rail Trail. Bottom half of the 5th inning, 3-2. New Hampshire on top of Reading after the Fisher Cats put up 3 runs in the top of the 5th off Josh Hedgega. And it's the top of the Reading order due up. Aiden Miller leads off, 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI. And see if the top of the order, 3rd time through here against Devereaux Harrison, can put some damage on the Fisher Cats starter. They've had plenty of opportunities, 7 hits tonight, but just 2 runs to show for it. So Miller will dig in from the right side. Fightin Phillies in their home pinstripe uniforms tonight. New Hampshire in their red roads, gray pants, navy blue caps for the Fisher Cats. First pitch to Aiden Miller. Takes it down, 1 ball and no strikes. Miller 237 after his single back in the 2nd. RBI number 17. Next pitch, he swings, drills it right center field. Grounds back to the track, to the wall, and it is off the top of the wall. Miller already around first, heads into 2nd. He'll get there standing up, and it is a leadoff double for Aiden Miller, his 7th of the season.
Well, the Phils have put their men on bases tonight so far, that's for sure. 8 hits now in the game for the Fightin Phils, but they still need somebody to come up with some big hits. They've only been able to capitalize it in that 2nd inning, and that is the 3rd time now in 5 innings that they have had the leadoff man on base.
And before Carson DeMartini can dig in, Jacob Sharp is out to talk to Devereaux Harrison. Of course, my assumption always is, man on 2nd, it's probably to go over the signs.
Yep.
And it's a quick conversation.
Yeah, generally teams will change signs with a runner at 2nd base. Obviously, that's the situation. Charles McAdoo up now at 3rd base in the event that DeMartini has any thoughts about bunting. Put that tying run at 3rd base.
So Miller leads off 2nd. DeMartini up, 2nd man of the plate this inning. Does have a hit, 1 for 2 tonight. And the pitch. DeMartini takes it up, it's 1-0. Swinging a red-hot bat right now is Carson DeMartini. Had 2 home runs on Sunday, He has 7 since May the 22nd. Just on a roll with Jersey Shore before the call-up. 1-0. He swings, fouls it back, 1-1. In total, hit 284 and 876 OPS. Scored 34 runs, 10 doubles, a triple, 8 home runs, 30 RBI, and he was 18 for 23 on the base pass. So another stolen base threat, too, you can add to the top of this lineup along with Aiden Miller. 1-1. DeMartini takes it up, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, kind of similar skill sets in a lot of ways with Aiden Miller. Not quite as big or as strong as Aiden Miller, but good athlete, going to make the plays at his position. Came to the Phillies as a potential middle infielder.
2-1, DeMartini swings, fly ball, left field line, foul territory. McAdoo races over, it's out of play, foul, and it's 2-2.
I mean, if you look at his line when he was drafted as either second, short, or third. And it looks like the Phillies have kind of settled in on the idea that they think best suited for him is third base. And he pretty much played exclusively third base at Jersey Shore.
Yeah, he can play short, but of course with Miller here, I think it's going to be a Miller-DeMartini left side of the infield most nights. 2-2 the count. Miller leads off second. Harrison deals. DeMartini swings down the right field line. It's foul. It'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, we've also seen him just in 3 at-bats now spray the ball all over the ballpark.
Yeah.
First time up, hit it to left field for a flyout. Second time up, hit a line drive into right field for a base hit. And even in this at-bat, he's fouled a couple pitches down the third base line, pulls one down the first base line.
This is the 78th career professional game for Carson DeMartini. Here's the 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. He's the first member of the 2024 draft class to reach AA. And it's come quick.
Yeah.
I mean, Aiden Miller reached AA in his first full pro season, but that wasn't until September. This is June. 3-2. Swing and a miss. DeMartini goes down on strikes. Third strikeout tonight for Devereaux Harrison, and that'll bring Keaton Anthony to the plate, who's 2 for 2 tonight. So Anthony in from the right side. As we said, he's 2 for 2 in tonight's ball game. First pitch to him is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Miller leads off second, 1 out, the pitch. Anthony swings, hits it in the air, high towards center, not deep. In comes Brown, he's under it, he'll make the catch. Miller starts and stops at second, draws a throw. And that is out number 2. Anthony retired for the first time tonight, and that'll bring Hendry Mendez to the plate.
Just a heads up at Citizens Bank Park. Alec Boehm with a 2-run single for the Phils in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So they're now ahead of Chicago 4-3. That'll take Mick Abel off the hook as well.
So here's Hendry Mendez, 2 outs in the inning. Reading trails by 1. They're looking back at Miller, stepping off is Harrison, who's at 77 pitches in tonight's ball game. Mendez a walk and a ground out tonight. Looking for a base hit here. And the pitch to him. That's up 1-0. Nelson Alvarez continues to throw in the Reading bullpen, so looks like he will get the top of the 6th inning. Pitch home. Mendez takes it outside corner. It's 1-1. Mendez entered tonight at 292, which is 7th best in the Phillies, 7th best in the Eastern League, 6th best in the Phillies organization. The 1-1 takes outside, 2 balls and a strike. Mendez, 25 runs driven in this year, second on the team to Keaton Anthony. 2-1 the count. Harrison deals. Mendez swings and a line drive foul down the left field line and out of play. It's 2-2. 3-2 New Hampshire on top, bottom of the 5th. Miller again takes his lead off the bag at second. 2-2 pitch. Mendez swings in a little flare towards short, back a couple of steps, goes Doty into the outfield, and he'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. Here in the 5th, one hit for Reading. There were no runs, no errors, and one man left on base. We played 5 full. We will head the 6th. Fightin Phillies trail it now. It's 3-2. Established in 1928, the Manor Golf Club is one of the oldest public courses in eastern Pennsylvania, located between Philadelphia, Lancaster, and Allentown in Sinking Spring. It offers a true test of golf on a championship-style course. Visit themanorgolfclub.com for more info. So top 6, 3-2, New Hampshire on top. And a new pitcher out of the Alvernia University Golden Wolves bullpen for Reading is Nelson Alvarez.
Alvarez making his team-leading 19th appearance of the season. He's 1-2 with a 5.75 earned run average. In 20 and a third innings pitched, he's given up 20 hits. 13 earned runs, he struck out 23. He has walked just 8.
Cade Doty, the first that he'll get, 6-7-8 due up here for Nelson Alvarez in the inning. And the first pitch home is swung on and hit in the air, slicing towards the right field line. Anthony out, Pineda's over into foul territory, and the right field Pineda tracks it down, braces himself as he softly bumps into the tarp, and that's out number 1. That was a tarp that was placed on the field last night, taken off this morning as there were some storms that came through last night and throughout the course of the morning. But after every storm comes some sunshine, and that's what we've had today. Now here's Gabby Martinez up for the Fisher Cats. Martinez 0 for 2 tonight, couple of pop-outs to short. First one home, in tight for a ball, it's 1-0. So as Bob said, Alvarez making his team-high 19th appearance of the year. Pitched Saturday at Harrisburg, a scoreless inning, no hits allowed. 1-0 is a bit down, 2 balls, no strikes. Did also pitch Tuesday at the Senators, and with Reading up by 1 in the bottom of the 10th inning, 2 strikes, 2 outs, allowed a game-winning 2-run walk-off home run to old friend of the Fightin Phillies, Carlos De La Cruz. 2-0 is swung on by Martinez, hit in the air towards center, not deep. Fergus, a couple of steps to his right, he's under it, he'll make the catch. And that is out number 2 for Alvarez, and that'll bring Devontae Brown to the plate for the Fisher Cats.
We have had, in terms of loft, an awful lot of well-elevated balls off the bats, especially New Hampshire tonight. There were several infield pop-ups and some lazy fly balls in the outfield.
Devontae Brown digs in from the right side for the Fisher Cats. First pitch home. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Look at you, word loft. Of course, it was World War II weekend this weekend. You had the planes flying overhead. Loft, big word, I believe, in the aeronautical field.
It's a great show. I'm not able to get out there this year. I've been out there for a couple years, actually, but it is a great show, and I understand a pretty good turnout this weekend. It's just great.
0-1, swung on, hit in the air, lofted down the left field line, foul territory. DiMartino, third baseman, is there, and he'll make the catch right up against the fence, and that will retire the side here in the 6th. 1, 2, 3, go down the Fisher Cats. We'll head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Fightin Phillies trail it 3-2. Bottom half of the sixth inning, this day in baseball town history, is presented by Body Zone Sports and Wellness, the official workout facility of the our Phils. 29 years ago today, June 10th, 1996, at Reading, Dan Held hits 2 home runs and drives in 4 to lead the Phillies to a 7-6 10-inning win over Trenton. So we move to the bottom half of the sixth inning. 3-2 is our score. Fisher Cats on top. New pitcher for New Hampshire is Nate Garko, the righty.
Garko making just his 4th appearance as a Fisher Cat, appeared in 10 games at High A Vancouver before being promoted with the Fisher Cats. He is 1-0, has not given up an earned run, 5 innings pitched, and only given up 1 hit as well. He's also struck out 11 and walked 2. So in his limited time with New Hampshire, he's been pretty impressive.
So Nate Garko is out, has a 3-2 lead, and it'll be 5-6-7 to up for the Fightin Phils. Catcher Paul McIntosh, who's 0 for 2 tonight, will lead things off for Reading as the sun sets here over baseball town. First pitch home. McIntosh takes it down. It's 1-0. Fastball at 88 from Garko to start this at-bat. McIntosh a strikeout, and he's flown out the right in tonight's ball game. Next pitch, he swings and misses at a slider. It's 1-1. So final line on Harrison, 5 innings, goes a season-high 8 hits. 2 runs, both earned, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So you'll definitely take 2 runs through 5 for Harrison, currently in line for the win. 1-1. McIntosh takes it down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, the Phils had Harrison on the ropes in just about every inning, just not able to take advantage of it. Had runners in scoring position every inning.
2-1. McIntosh swings, lofts it down the right field line and out of play foul. It's 2-2. I know we were talking about World War II weekend, and I've never been, but last year we were home on World War II weekend, so a lot of the planes were flying overhead because we're pretty much right in the landing pattern for the airport. And it was really cool seeing all the planes that were coming over. 2-2. McIntosh started and stopped. They will appeal on a pitch outside, and no swing, says Brian Laws at first.
Yeah, I remember sitting here in the press box. It was hours before game time last year, and one of the cargo planes flew over the top, and it literally, it just darkened the whole stadium.
Yeah.
It was so big, and just the way it flew and blocked the sun.
3-2, McIntosh swings, hits into the air, shallow left. It was in on the hands. Charging in's Martinez, the left fielder. He'll make the catch for out number 1, and that'll bring Seth Beer to the plate. Beer digs in from the left side, 1 for 2 in tonight's ball game. Singled and scored one of Reading's 2 runs back in the second. And the first pitch is low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Garko began last year and played 2023 with the Gateway Grizzlies in the Frontier League before eventually signing with Toronto on July the 1st, 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Also played for the Sioux Falls Canaries in the American Association in 2022. Bit of a interesting path for Garko. The 1-1. Beer swings, fouls it. It's 1-2. Nate Garko, you know who he was college teammates with?
I do not.
Otto Kemp.
Is that right?
Went to Point Loma Nazarene from
How about
2019 to 2022. The same college, Division II, as Otto Kemp. 1-2, Beer swings, and he knuckles it foul out of play. Also spent 2018 at Pasadena City College, 2017 at Hawaii Pacific. So 6 years in college. Of course, there was the COVID year in 2020, kind of marred amongst all of that. 1-2, Beer takes down 2-2. Well, now we can say we know two guys who played at Point Loma Nazarene. Two balls, two strikes, and an out to Seth Beer. Bottom six, 3-2. New Hampshire on top of the Fightin' Phils. Ready at the letters is Garko. Here's the pitch. And that's up for a swing and a foul ball. It's 2-2. About letter high there for Beer. Good at bat here from the lefty. Robert Moore, who's had a good night, awaits on deck. Shortstop Doty is pretty much as close to the second base bag as he can get. Big hole on the left side. 2-2. Beer takes up, counts full. Garko's not going to blow you away. Fastball is about 88, 89. Has mixed in a curveball and a changeup so far tonight. 13 pitches. 3-2. Beer swing and a miss on a slider. He's down on strikes. First strikeout for Garko. Fourth overall for New Hampshire pitching. And that'll bring Robert Moore to the plate with 2 outs.
He made Beer look really silly on a couple of sliders.
Like we said, good night tonight for Moore. 2 for 2, 2 doubles. Switch hitter bats from the left side. First pitch is up. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Garko sets himself up with the letters here, the pitch. Moore swings, broken bat, foul ball. The short of the bat went down the first base line. The ball went down the third base line.
Yeah, it's split right along the barrel. The piece of the bat is still sitting in the grass. I don't think Robert Moore ever saw where the ball, that piece of the bat went. Bat boy.
I hope somebody saw it.
Yeah,
Bat boy did.
But it literally just split down the barrel of the bat. And that was a good bat, too. He just got 2 doubles with that bat.
Moore got a fresh delivery of bats in Harrisburg last week. Said during BP on Saturday, he said, I feel like these bats are winners.
Yeah,
hopefully
felt something right.
This bat was in the same shipment, and this one's also a winner. 1-1, the pitch. Moore, curveball. He takes it for a strike. It's 1-2.
I'm not quite sure what that sound we just heard here at the stadium. It sounded like a tugboat just landed. So maybe somebody else got a shipment of bats just came in. Landed on Schuylkill River, apparently.
1-2, 2 outs to Moore. Garko's ready. Righty fires. Moore swings, fouls it straight back. It stays 1-2. Bottom six, 3-2, New Hampshire on top. In game 1 of 6 between Reading and the Fisher Cats this week. 7th matchup total this year. 1-2. Moore swings at another slider and fouls it back. It stays 1-2. Reading 4-2, the edge in this week's series against New Hampshire. Or this season series, mind you. Ball and 2 strikes to Moore. Garko's ready at the letters. Here's the pitch. Moore swing and another foul ball back. 6th pitch of the at-bat. 4th foul ball by Robert Moore, 23-year-old out of Leawood, Kansas. Of course, his dad, Dayton, formerly the president of baseball operations for the Kansas City Royals. Currently works with the Rangers as a special advisor. 1-2. Moore swinging a tapper. Got a piece of Moore in the batter's box. It's foul. The 4th straight foul ball from Moore. 5th overall. Got a piece of his right foot.
Yeah, front foot.
Mike Flaherty's on the top step, but
he's trying to walk it off, but he's got a lot of wincing on his face right now.
Yeah, you can see he just did a practice swing where he stepped.
Yep.
Put some weight on that front foot. So ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs to Robert Moore. Garko's ready at the letters. Here's the pitch. More swings, ground ball, first base line, smeared by Williams, who takes the bag himself at first, and that retires the side on a 3 unassisted. So it was a long inning, but ultimately no runs, no hits, and nobody left on base for the Fisher Cats. We're 2/3 the way home here in Baseball Town. We will head to the 7th. New Hampshire leads it 3-2. The top of the 7th inning is presented by White Star Travel, the official group sponsor of the Reading Fightin' Phils. Visit whitestartours.com for more. 3-2 our score, top half of the 7th inning. New Hampshire leads Reading, and Nelson Alvarez is back out for his 2nd inning of work. It'll be 9-1-2 of the Fisher Cats lineup will face. Catcher Jacob Sharp will lead things off here for New Hampshire. Looking to tack on some insurance runs. Alvarez, after a very quick 6th inning, through just 6 pitches, is looking to keep the deficit where it's at 1 run. So Sharp in from the right side, slightly open stance for him, and Alvarez's first one home is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Sharp tonight 1 for 2. He singled and scored a run his last time up back in the 5th. And the 0-1, swinging a fly ball high towards left. Over towards the line goes Mendez. Loses his hat in the process, gets there on the warning track in foul territory and makes the catch. That one, a lot of loft under it, gave Mendez plenty of time to get there. And the left fielder makes a nice running grab for out number 1.
Yeah, fortunately for Henry Mendez, it was in the air for a long time, but he ran a long way to go get that. And full sprint, and again, with the now absence of those pitcher's mounds. Of course, Henry Mendez didn't play here with the pitcher's mound here, but again, when those pitcher's mounds were there, they were in your head when you're running full speed towards the pitcher's mound, whether you're running into friendly fire or not. In this case, he would have been running the visiting bullpen.
First pitch to Paulino, swings towards the right center field gap. Pineda lays out, it's off his glove, trickles back towards center field. Fergus was there to back it up, but there's no play at second as Paulino gets in there standing up. So it's going to be the 3rd hit tonight for Edinson Paulino, 8th double this season. Good effort from Pineda, but just goes down as a double.
Yeah, so to finish that thought, Mendez makes the great long-running catch in foul territory. And Pineda laid out on it, but he at least made sure he kept it in front of him. And Paulino is at second base with a double, which he probably would have been regardless. But if Pineda doesn't get some either leather on it or body on it, that's going to roll to the wall, and Pineda and Paulino instead is on 3rd base.
So Charles McAdoo is up now for New Hampshire. And Alvarez's first pitch home. Paulino goes, pitches in, off the glove of McIntosh. Fortunately for Reading, I think Paulino started and stopped. So I'll be intrigued to see what they call this. If they give him it a stolen base or they call it a wild pitch or pass ball.
Yeah, I mean, he starts and stops almost all the time on the base pass, so it's kind of hard to determine. But I got to think that he moves up to 3rd base on, again, either the pass ball or the wild pitch.
So we'll see what they give it, but it's 1-0. Infield up now for Reading. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, 3rd foul, just past DeMartini down the line. It will go down as a wild pitch, so no stolen base. And no pass ball either. That was one that, it hit McIntosh's glove, but it was not an easy one to secure.
Right. For sure.
So 1-1 the count. Infield still up here for McAdoo. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He does have an RBI, though. The 1-1 is swung on and it's skied. Shallow right towards the line. Anthony's over, repositions, makes the catch in foul territory. Paulino starts and stops. Anthony throws home. And that is a big out number 2.
Huge out there for Alvarez. Now he can see his way out of here with 2 outs. Still has to be careful, again, with Paulino at third base and the havoc he causes on the base path. But a good job by Anthony kind of tight roping down that first baseline, keeping his feet underneath him, and makes the catch, and obviously no chance for Paulino to tag up.
So Borfin's up, 0 for 2 tonight, has walked, does have an RBI. 2 outs, first pitch. That's up, it's 1-0.
And obviously, goes without saying, it's a huge spot here for Alvarez. Keep this game at a 1-run game to New Hampshire's advantage.
Connor Larkin, the righty, throwing in the New Hampshire bullpen. Looks like he'll get the home half of the 7th. Next pitch, swung on, popped up. Shallow left, Miller out, Mendez in. Mendez got a late jump to it, but the left fielder's there, and he secures it in his bright yellow glove to retire the side. So we are through 6.5 here from FirstEnergy Stadium for New Hampshire in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. It's time to stretch. Fightin Phillies trail it 3-2. This inning is brought to you by Swartz Culleton PC. Have you or a loved one been injured? Get justice. Call Swartz Culleton today at 1-800-JUSTICE. So we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 3-2 is our score. Fisher Cats on top. And new pitcher is in for New Hampshire. It's the righty Connor Larkin.
Makes his 14th appearance of the season. He is 3-1 with a 2.20 earned run average in 16 of the third innings pitched. He's given up just 8 hits, but 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 21 strikeouts, and he has given up 10 walks. So it's been the walks more so than the hits. 10 walks and only 8 hits surrendered by Larkin so far.
So first batter Larkin faces Leandro Pineda. Pineda 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game. And the first pitch home to him's down and away, 1-0.
Larkin has kind of assumed their closer role up until time. He's 3 for 3 in save opportunities, and here he is coming in the 7th inning.
Pitch home. Pineda swings, lines it foul down the left field line. It's 1-1. Travis Kuhn throwing for Reading in their bullpen. Looks like he'll get the 8th. See if the Fightin Phillies can put some runs on the board for him. 1-1. Pineda takes it low and away, 2-1. Larkin, a 26-year-old, 9th round pick in 2021, played his college baseball at Penn State. 2-1. Pineda watches that one down the chute, 2-2. Sinker at 94. Larkin from the stretch, ready at the belt, deals home. Pineda swings, bloops one down the left field line, but it's foul. It goes out of play. It'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch home. Pineda swinging a tapper foul behind home plate.
Travis Kuhn warming up in the Fightin Phil's bullpen. No doubt will come in for the 8th after Alvarez goes for 2.
2-2 the count. Larkin deals. Pineda swings, foul ball down the right field line. It'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 7 pitches to Leandro Pineda to lead off this 7th inning. Pineda pair of hits last week in 20 at-bats. One of those 2 was his 2nd home run of the season. Both of his home runs this year have come against Harrisburg. It remains a 2-ball, 2-strike count to the lefty. Pitch home. Checks his swing, appeal to third. They say no swing. Garrett Nelson, our third base umpire. The pitch was down, so it's a 3-ball, 2-strike count to Pineda. Count mirrors our score. 3-2, New Hampshire leads in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Pineda swinging a ground ball, took an awkward hop off the mound, but it still goes right to the shortstop, Doty. And he'll throw it on the first in time for out number 1. So that'll bring Cade Fergus, the center fielder, to the plate. Nate Garko, a good inning, 1 inning of work, no runs, no hits, no walks, and 1 strikeout.
Their own 1-2-3 inning in this ballgame. Again, Reading has had men on base in every inning. They have had runners in scoring position every inning against Harrison.
First pitch to Fergus, gets away from the catcher Sharp. It's 1-0.
But the Phils have only able to get the 2 runs across, and they did both of that. Got both of those in the 2nd inning. That was after a leadoff single by Beer and then a double by Moore. It's 2nd and 3rd, and nobody out.
Fergus 0 for 1 tonight. Doesn't have a sac fly and an RBI back in the 2nd. 1-0. Going away again. 2 balls, no strikes. Fergus a pair of hits last week at Harrisburg. Both were home runs. 2-0. Outside corner, it's 2-1. The latter of which was a 440-foot moonshot to left center field that was over the ribbon board at FNB Field. 2-1. Fergus takes it inside, 3-1, ducks out of the way of it. There's your boat horn again, Bob. So hitters count here to Cade Fergus. Pitch home. Inside, ball 4. Almost hit Fergus. Doesn't matter either way. That's the first walk issued by Connor Larkin. Just the 2nd tonight for New Hampshire pitching. And that'll bring Aiden Miller to the plate for the 4th time tonight.
Well, let's see if they don't get Cade Fergus in motion here. Again, trying to make something happen here with now the top of the order at the plate with Aiden Miller and great wheels on the base pass with Cade Fergus.
Miller 2 for 3 tonight. Doubled his last time up. Does have an RBI in tonight's game. First pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Miller.
And this is where Aiden Miller's patience can pay off if, in fact, the plan is to get Fergus in motion. That he could be patient, let Fergus find the pitch he wants to go on.
1-0, Miller swings. Hard hit, ground ball 3rd. McAdoo has it. Goes to 2nd for 1. Relay to 1st in time. And it's a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. Miller hit it hard, but it was right to McAdoo, which sets up the around-the-horn twin killing, and that will retire the side here in the 7th. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on base for the Fightin Phils. We will head to the 8th with the Fightin Phils still trailing New Hampshire 3-2. Top half of the 8th inning, 3-2 is our score. And to tell you about the new pitcher in and take over on the play-by-play, it's my broadcast partner, Bob McCool.
All right, thank you very much, Jake. Travis Kuhn making his 18th appearance of the season. He's been busy. 5-2 and 4.43 earned run average and 22 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 19 hits, 14 runs, only 11 of those 14 have been earned, 19 strikeouts, but he's also walked 13, and he's also surrendered 3 home runs as well. So his job, obviously, is to keep this game where it is, which is 3-2 in New Hampshire's favor. 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors for the Fisher Cats, 2 runs on 8 hits, and 1 error for the Fightin Phils, as Peyton Williams will lead it off for New Hampshire here in the top half of the 8th inning. And the first pitch to the big lefty is on the outside corner for a called strike. Williams to be followed by Ryan McCarty and Cade Doty. Williams having a good night so far. He's 2 for 3 with a run driven in. Drove in what is right now the game-winning run for the Fisher Cats. Here's one slapped the other way. DeMartini, backhander off balance, is not going to get there. So for the second time in this game, the 6'5", 255-pound Peyton Williams has himself an infield single. Another cue shot off his bat. First one was in the grass, and DeMartini really didn't have much of a chance to put anything on it. This one really almost at the third base bag, and DeMartini playing well off the line, had almost no shot to get Peyton Williams. So he gets his 3rd hit of the night. Leadoff base runner here in the 8th for Ryan McCarty. And the first pitch to McCarty is inside, ball 1. McCarty 0 for 3 so far in the game. A couple of flyouts and a strikeout. And the 1-0 pitch is there for a strike 1. So Travis Kuhn working obviously from the stretch. Williams not a threat to go anywhere. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. So he's ahead of McCarty 1-2. Infield plays the right-handed hitting McCarty to pull. Outfield slightly the other way. That one's way up high. It's 2-2. Fisher Cats loaded the bases in the 5th. Scored on a couple of ground outs, and then the base hit by Peyton Williams to put them ahead. This one lifted down the first base line, but slicing foul and out of play. So it was a 3-run 5th inning for the Fisher Cats and a 2-run 2nd inning for the Fightin Phils. That the only run production for either side so far tonight. 2-2 to McCarty. Pitch. Swing and a miss. That is strike 3. McCarty comes up empty. Strikeout number 1 for Kuhn is out number 1 here in the 8th. And it will bring Cade Doty to the plate. Great job, by the way, from Nelson Alvarez for the Fightin Phils. He goes 2 innings. Gave up just 1 hit. Obviously no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. So a good job by Alvarez to get them here to the 8th. Doty up the middle. Miller out of his reach, and it's into center field for a base hit. Williams will set up anchor at second base as Cade Doty gets his 2nd hit of the night, 2nd hit of the inning for the Fisher Cats, and a 10th hit of the ballgame for New Hampshire. 2 on, 1 out for Gabby Martinez. Mimo's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria at 290 Morgantown Road in Reading has been serving authentic Italian dishes since 1997. Enjoy homemade favorites for the whole family in their newly renovated space, perfect for private events. Voted best in Berks multiple times, Mimo's is family-owned and a proud 2025 Fightin Phils team feed partner. Visit Mimo's today or check out mimos.org for more information. Gabby Martinez 0 for 3 so far on the night. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. Martinez with 5 RBIs in a season. He lifts this one into left center field. Mendez and Fergus there. Fergus will call for it. The center fielder will squeeze it for out number 2. Runners cannot advance. That'll bring Devontae Brown to the plate. Brown 1 for 3. He scored one of the Fisher Cat runs, as he got that 3-run 5th inning started with a base hit. Kuhn delivers. Pitch way inside, ball 1. Philadelphia Phillies batting in the bottom of the 7th inning at Citizens Bank Park. They now trail the Chicago Cubs 5-4. After Ian Happ hit a 2-run home run off of Taijuan Walker in the 6th inning to put the Cubs ahead. So it's been the long ball for Chicago tonight. 4 home runs hit by Chicago. One ball and 1 strike to Devontae Brown. 2 on, 2 out. Top of the 8th. Bouncer towards the middle. Robert Moore has to wait for the in-between hop. The second baseman will flip it to first in plenty of time for the 3rd and final out. So the Fisher Cats in the 8th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 on the base paths. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. It remains New Hampshire 3, Reading 2. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It'll be Carson DiMartini, Keaton Anthony, and Hendry Mendez due up for the Fightin' Phils. Down 3-2, they'll send 2, 3, and 4 to the plate. Connor Larkin back out there for the 2nd inning for him. A little bit of a delayed start. Jacob Sharp, the catcher, slow to get back out of the dugout. He was the on-deck hitter, so he had to strip off all the gear and just get all the gear back on, get all the batting gear off, and get all the catching gear on. And now DiMartini will settle in. DiMartini 1 for 3 in his baseball town debut. Single to right field back in the 3rd inning. Also flew out to left field and struck out. First pitch to him is a swing and a miss. DiMartini with 30 RBIs in his time at Jersey Shore, which would give him the team lead in that category here in Reading, in which case we'll take a look at our Fightin' Phils team leader presented by the Pennsylvania National Army Guard. That RBI leader is in the on-deck circle with Keaton Anthony. And a swing and a miss, and DiMartini is now in a 1-ball and 2-strike count. Keaton Anthony with 29 RBIs is the Fightin' Phils team leader. Been at the top of that category along with Hendry Mendez throughout this season. He is just on the outside looking in at the top 10 in the Eastern League in RBIs. As DiMartini lines this one in the right field, he's going to have another base hit. And he is the leadoff base runner the Phils are looking for as they get the tying run at first base in the presence of Keaton Anthony now coming to the plate with DiMartini at first base to start the 8th inning. Again, Fightin' Phils have had their fair share of base runners in this ballgame. That is their 9th hit of the night. And now Keaton Anthony, who's been on base twice with a couple of singles himself, at the plate. 2 singles and a fly out to center field so far for Keaton Anthony. DiMartini does have good speed on the base pass. First pitch to Anthony, there for a called strike 1. So you got a good base runner on first base, you got the guy you want at the plate in your RBI leader in Keaton Anthony. Can they take advantage of it? 0-1 pitch. DeMartini takes off. Put inside. Sharp's throw is not in time. Carson DeMartini steals the bag. Picked a good pitch to run on. The pitch was way inside. And so until Sharp could reach over and get it away from Keaton Anthony, had to kind of jump out of the way of it. DeMartini slides in and steals the bag. So now the tying run is at second base with nobody out. And a 1-1 count to Keaton Anthony. Fisted towards the right side. The second baseman, Paulino, will make the play to first. It's a productive at bat because DeMartini does move up to third base. So it goes 4-3 in the books as Anthony is retired at first base with now one out. But now Carson DeMartini, the tying run, is at third base with one out. And that's going to bring Brent LaValle out of the dugout. And there is activity in the New Hampshire bullpen. And it looks like they are going to make a change. So Brent LaValle is going to make the call to the bullpen. And Hendry Mendez will be the batter. So we'll take a timeout on the Reading Fightin' Phillies radio network and tell you about who the new pitcher is when we come back after this. So the Alberta University call to the bullpen for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats is Yason Urbaez. Comes in with a man on third base and a one out. Urbaez making his 11th appearance of the season. He's 0-1 with a 1.59 earned run average. 22 2/3 innings pitched. He has given up 20 hits, 21 strikeouts, and 10 walks. And Mendez drives the first pitch he sees deep to right field, up against the fence. Making a leaping grab is Jace Borfin, but it will allow Carson DeMartini to tag up and walk home with the tying run. So Hendry Mendez greets him with the first pitch swinging, driving it to the fence in right field. Borfin with the leaping catch up against the wall. DeMartini tags and scores, and we're tied at 3.
Just talk about doing jobs, right? DeMartini gets aboard. He gets to second base. Anthony, a ground ball to the right side. Mendez hits a fly ball.
I don't think you can lose sight of any of those three things because none of that happens without the other. As Paul McIntosh now bats and the base is empty and 2 outs. Without the stolen base by DeMartini, the ground ball by Anthony might be a double play, but instead now he's at third, and then Mendez hits what would be just a fly ball at the end of the inning, but instead it's a sacrifice fly and a run scores. So it really is the evolution of it all. DeMartini gets on, he steals second, the productive ground ball, and then the fly ball, and we're tied at 3 with 2 outs here in the 8th, and Paul McIntosh at the plate, a 1-1 count to him. And Baez delivers at the knees for a called strike. It's 1-2. I don't think McIntosh would agree with that. McIntosh 0 for 3 on the night. Did hit 3 home runs on the road trip to Harrisburg, 4 on the season. 1-2 pitch. Beats it on the left side. It's through for a base hit. McAdoo and Doty both dive, and it gets through both of them for a seeing eye single for Paul McIntosh. Go ahead run now at first base with 2 outs. Seth Beer now will bat. Beer singled and scored the Phil's first run back in the second inning, 1 for 3 on the night. With just 4 RBIs since being signed by the Phillies. First pitch to him, there for a called strike 1. So McIntosh, not good wheels at first base. But there are 2 outs. Pitch is fouled down the third base line and out of play. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Seth Beer. Jace Borfin, the right fielder, really shades Seth Beer towards center field. If Beer could pull one down the line, McIntosh, not fleet-footed or not, should be able to score easily. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Up the middle instead, it's through to center field for a base hit. McIntosh will round second, and he's headed for third. He's going to get there. Jace Borfin was slow to get over and cut it off from the right field spot, and McIntosh takes advantage of it, goes to third.
Yeah, good piece of hittings here with 2 outs by the Fightin Phils. DeMartini gets on, they get him over and in. And now you get a couple of singles. Let's see if Robert Moore, who's had a good night, 2 doubles, can find a way to put Reading on top here.
Doubled in the second, doubled in the fourth. Grounded back to the pitcher his last time up. So a huge spot here for the Fightin Phils to try to take the advantage here in the bottom of the 8th. First and third, 2 outs. Moore with 20 RBIs on the season, looking to give the Phils the lead. Way inside, ball 1. Good base running out by McIntosh as well on that play to get the third. Again, runner at third base, anything can happen. One ball and no strikes to the switch hitting Robert Moore, batting from the left side. Takes it down low and inside, it's 2-0. Anjo Pineda in the on-deck circle if Moore reaches. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to him. Inside again, it's 3-0. See if Moore's got the take sign or not. Looks down at Michael Jones, who's coaching at third, and Carl Ellison coaching at first. He's got quite the collection of gear over there. Carl needs a suitcase. 3-0. Ball 4. So 4 straight to Robert Moore, loads the bases. That's going to be more gear that Carl Ellison has to carry.
Yeah, true. Maybe the bat boy can come out and relieve him of some of that stuff. Well, we have a mound visit here, so perfect time for that.
Carl can unload. So here comes Austin Bibbins-Dirks, the pitching coach for New Hampshire, to have a conversation with his pitcher, Urbaez, with the bases loaded and 2 outs and Leandro Pineda at the plate. And relief is coming. The bat boy has come to Carl Ellison's aid. Phils have had 4 base runners in this inning, starting with Carson DeMartini's leadoff single. He scored the tying run. Go-ahead run is at third, and Paul McIntosh, he singled. Seth Beers at second, he singled. And now Robert Moore at first, he walked. So Pineda a chance to give the Phils a lead, and maybe even blow this thing wide open if he can come up big here. Pitching coach's conversation is over. Job is Urbaez's to get out. Pineda 0 for 3 on the night. Swings and misses at the first pitch. He went for it all there.
And look, you just need a single. Looks like Andrew Walling is starting to throw for Reading.
Urbaez pitching from the stretch, delivers 0-1. That's outside 1-1. Again, he just walked Robert Moore on 4 pitches. One pitch. Lifted into shallow left field and falling fast. Here comes Martinez. Dives. Did he make the catch? He did. Gabby Martinez, they say, made the catch, and that is the 3rd and final out.
Yeah, Michael Jones going right to Garrett Nelson because I thought he trapped that. That looked pretty clear from here that he trapped that.
Even Martinez, the way he reacted as if he wanted to get up and make a play on it. And so the play is called an out. And obviously there is no review so that you can argue it, but you're not going to win it.
We're going to get a replay here on MLB TV. So let's give this a look real quick. See if maybe we missed something. I think he got that.
It looks like he got leather
under it. He got
it.
that. How about that? Good work by our replay crew, too.
So that will retire the side for the Phils. They do get the tying run. They did it with 3 hits in the inning, no errors, and they leave the bases loaded. We're going to head to the top of the 9th when we come back on the Reading Fight Phils Radio Network. Fisher Cats 3, Fight Phils 3. So we head to the 9th inning. And the Alberta University Golden Wolves' call to the bullpen has been made as Andrew Walling will come on now for the Fightin' Phils to try to get 3 outs and keep the score tied at 3-3.
12th appearance for Walling, 0-2, a 5.73 ERA, 11 innings, 13 strikeouts, and 8 walks.
And first batter he faces is Jacob Sharp, and it's quickly 2 balls and no strikes to Sharp. The 9-hole hitter to be followed by the top of the order in Edinson Paulino and then Charles McAdoo. Sharp 1 for 3 on the night, singled and scored a run back in that 3-run 5th inning for the Fisher Cats. 2-0 pitch. On ground towards Miller, takes a high hop on him, and he'll make the play at first base, no problem. 1 out here in the 9th.
Bit of an in-between hop there for Aiden Miller, but he makes a nice play on it for out number 1.
So that'll bring the top of the order, and Edinson Paulino at the plate. He has been a problem tonight. He's been on base all 4 times. A couple of singles, a double, and hit by a pitch. It was the time that he was hit by a pitch that he came around to score a run. And the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that's up and in. A slider that didn't slide a whole lot. Paulino had to duck out of the way of it. So it's 1-0 to Edinson Paulino. Left-handed hitter, lefty on lefty matchup with Walling. This one lined into left field. Mendez is there, and he'll make the catch. Drifting a little bit to his right for out number 2 here in the 9th. Big out there for Walling as he now faces Charles McAdoo. Tonight's attendance at FirstEnergy Stadium, 6,611. Great crowd for a Tuesday night. Start of this series, thanks to our friends at PSECU for presenting tonight's attendance. PSECU is proud to be one of the largest credit unions in Pennsylvania. McAdoo 0 for 4 on the night. He swings to the first pitch, lifts it into shallow right field, falling into no man's land. It's going to be a base hit. McAdoo around first, and he is going to end up at second base with a Texley double. The ball hits him, rolls into left field, and he's going to move up to third base. So it hit a perfect spot down the right field line. Anthony and Pineda ran hard, but they couldn't get there. McAdoo hustling out of the box gets to second. Anthony's throw into the second base bag hit McAdoo in the back of his shoulder and rolled all the way out into shallow left field, and he got up and ran to third. So the go-ahead run now for the Fisher Cats is at third base with, fortunately, at least for the Phils, 2 outs in the inning. That's going to have to go down as an error that allows
it goes
McAdoo
against
to go.
Keaton Anthony, which is unfortunate for him, his third of the year.
Second error of the night for the Phils as Jace Borfin now will bat. First pitch to him is a slider that's up and in. So again, another lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Borfin at the plate. Phils obviously with the infield back, hoping to get out of this inning. McAdoo walking off the bag, and a slider that again is up and in to Borfin. Actually, they said that was a fastball from Walling. It's 2-0. Lifts this one foul out of play, so Borfin swinging 2-0, fouls it out of play. Borfin with 25 RBIs on the season for the Fisher Cats. 0 for 3 tonight. He did walk up back in the first inning. Runner at third base, 2 outs. Tie game, top of the ninth. 2-1 pitch. Outside, it's 3-1. Another lefty in the on-deck circle in Peyton Williams if Borfin walks. It's 3 balls and a strike to him. Started and stopped, and the pitch is low. It is ball 4.
Oh, no, they appeal, and they said he went.
They said he went around, so the appeal says it is strike 2. So Borfin has to go pick his bat up because he threw his bat away thinking it was ball. He was headed at first base. So it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jace Borfin. McAdoo takes the walking lead off of third. Walling's pitch. That's in the dirt, ball 4.
And a good and a big block there by Paul McIntosh, the man on third. You got to keep everything in front of you.
Just really not a good pitch at all by Walling. That was a ball out of his hands. An easy take for Borfin. I mean, you got to think for him, any pitch that's close to the plate, he's got to swing at it after getting the second pitch called against, the second strike called against him. But Walling made it easy on him, so he's at first base now. Runners at the corners and 2 outs, and Peyton Williams at the plate. And Williams has had 3 hits on the night. First pitch. Again, it's low and away, ball 1.
Yeah, you just hope that kind of bloop double doesn't rattle Walling because it hasn't looked the same since then. See if we can get one over here and just get back to the way he was before because he was good to start this inning.
1-0 pitch. Again, off the end of the bat for Peyton Williams. He's got 2 infield hits in his game on a couple of cue shots. I don't know how many infield hits he's got in his career, but I can't think it's a whole lot more than the 2 he has tonight. But he's kind of driven Carson DiMartini crazy out there at third base because he's had really no shot at him on either one of the little cue shots off the end of his bat. DiMartini is close to third base now. It's 1 ball and 1 strike now to Williams. Beats it on a 1-hop right to Keaton Anthony, and it'll be an easy play to step on the bag, and that will do it for the Fisher Cats in the ninth. No runs. There was 1 hit, there was 1 error, and there were 2 left. We're heading to the bottom of the ninth. It's winning time and baseball time. We're tied at 3. So the Alberta University Golden Wolves have made the call to the bullpen. It'll be the right-hander Alex Amalfi who will come in now for New Hampshire.
13th appearance for Amalfi. He's made 2 starts, 2-2, a 4.44 ERA. 24 and a third innings pitched, 22 hits, 15 walks, 32 strikeouts, 234 batting average against.
Well, Fightin Phils know what they have to do now. It's a bottom half of the 9th inning, and we're tied at 3. Reading will send Cade Ferguson to the top of the order, Aiden Miller and Carson DiMartini to the plate. 3 runs on 11 hits, no errors for New Hampshire. 3 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors for the Fightin Phils. Good job tonight by both Nelson Alvarez and Travis Kuhn. They combined for 3 innings pitched, no runs surrendered. And they bridge the gap now to the bottom of the 9th, and a chance for the Phils to try to walk this off. They were susceptible to the walk-off a couple times in Harrisburg in the bad way. Of course, old friend Carlos De La Cruz got them twice in Harrisburg with a couple of walk-off home runs in the bottom of the 10th and the bottom of the 9th on Tuesday and Wednesday a week ago in Harrisburg. Phils with a chance to do it here in the bottom of the 9th in Reading. Cade Fergus will lead it off. Fergus 0 for 1 on the night. And the first pitch to him is up high for a ball. Drove in a run for the Phils in the 2nd on a sacrifice fly, his 11th RBI of the season. He also walked in the 7th and a fly out in between. 1-0 pitch. Big swing, no contact. Fergus does have 5 home runs on the year. Looking for number 6 there to try to walk it off himself. It's 1-1 now. To see him get his wheels on the base pass and see if something can happen with the top of the order coming up. 1-1 pitch. Big swing again, no contact. It's 1-2. Fergus with a question for Josiah Shepard. Want to know whether or not that pitch was in or out of the strike zone. Fergus now calls time at the plate. Malfi with a look in to his catcher, Jacob Sharp. It's 1-2 pitch. Way outside into dirt, it's 2-2. Strikeouts have been the problem for Cade Fergus in 2025. He struck out over 40% of his plate appearances to date. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Almost hit him. Almost hit him in the head. And when that pitch made it all the way to the backstop. Fortunately for Cade Fergus, he was able to get out of the way of it as it was right at his head. Not sure what happened there. It just slipped out of Amalfi's hand. He tosses the ball now to the dugout and says, yeah, I didn't like that one. So now the count is 3-2. Big spot here. Again, Cade Fergus's job is to get on base. 3 balls and 2 strikes to him. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fergus goes down swinging. Chased one up out of the strike zone and comes up empty. 1 down in the 9th. Aiden Miller now will bat. Miller 2 for 4 in the night. RBI single in the 2nd, doubled in the 5th. 7th double of the season, his 17th RBI of the season, tonight's game. And the first pitch to him is there for a called strike. Invite you to stick around coming up after tonight's game for the White Star Travel post-game show. 0-1 pitch, way up high again, it's 1-1. This one fisted foul and out of play. It's 1-2. Amalfi has given up 1 home run in his first 12 appearances. Again, he has walked 15. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Aiden Miller. Started and stopped. They'll appeal. He did not go around. It's 2-2. Pitch was low and away. So the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Aiden Miller. Bottom of the 9th, tied at 3. Over for a called strike 3, and Aiden Miller knew it. I think Miller thought he was going to get an off-speed pitch. He got the fastball and knew he was fooled and knew he was out. 2 outs in the 9th. The back-to-back strikeouts now for Amalfi to start the 9th inning, and here comes the new guy, Carson DiMartini, and he's made a nice debut for himself here in Reading. 2 for 4 with a run scored. Also stole a base in the midst. First pitch to him, low and away, ball 1. Again, if you're DiMartini, you can't think about trying to be the hero here with Keaton Anthony in the on-deck circle. Still, the objective is get a man on base. 1 ball and no strikes to DiMartini. Misses inside, it's 2-0. And DiMartini was proof of that last inning. He's the one that got the rally started. Single, stole a base, ground ball, fly ball, tie game. It's 2 balls and no strikes to him here. Way outside, it's 3-0. Got to think the take sign's probably on here for the 22-year-old Carson DiMartini. 4th round draft pick of the Phillies a year ago out of Virginia Tech. 3-0. Outside ball 4. DiMartini's on base for the 3rd time tonight. A great at-bat for him. Didn't get overly aggressive. Stayed patient. Make the pitcher make the pitches. He did not. Here comes Keaton Anthony. RBI leader for the Fightin Phils and among the Eastern League leaders. Mentioned his last time up, he is 1 off the top 10. Top 10 takes you to 30 RBIs in the season. Keaton Anthony with 29 as he stands in. DiMartini takes off, pitch in the dirt. They won't even bother with the throw down. Carson DiMartini steals another bag. So now the winning run is in scoring position for Keaton Anthony. It does open up first base. Let's see if New Hampshire decides to go after Keaton Anthony or the on-deck hitter, Hendry Mendez. 1 ball and no strikes to Anthony. Ground ball up the middle. The shortstop, Doty is right there, and he'll make the throw to cross the diamond in plenty of time for out number 3. The Fightin Phils in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We're headed for extra innings in Baseball Town. We are tied at 3-3. We head to the top half of the 10th inning, and another Alvernia University Golden Wolves call a bullpen for the Fightin Phils. Will bring Tommy McCullum into the ballgame.
Tommy McCullum is in for Reading. He has been excellent this year. 9 appearances, just 1 earned run allowed over 14 1/3 innings pitched, a .63 ERA, 5 hits, no walks, 11 strikeouts. The 1 run was a home run, 104 batting average against.
He will face Ryan McCarty, Kay Doty, and Gabby Martinez here for New Hampshire in the top half of the 10th inning. Again, tied at 10. And in the extra inning rules, they will start with a base runner on the base pass. And the first pitch to Ryan McCarty is a swing and a miss. Looks like it's a pinch runner, because Peyton Williams was the last man to the plate, and that's definitely not Peyton Williams at second base. I don't know anything, but I know that's not Peyton Williams. One ball and 1 strike to McCarty as he swings and misses. And then fouls one straight back as no balls and 2 strikes.
Looks like it's Jay Harry.
So Jay Harry,
who's running at second base.
Right, who's normally a shortstop for the Fisher Cats, so he'll obviously, no doubt, probably come in the game at some point. Peyton Williams is now out of the game.
McAdoo probably goes to first.
So no balls and 2 strikes to McCarty. He rolls one towards Aiden Miller. Miller's going to have the play at third, but he couldn't pull the trigger on it. He'll flow to first instead and get the batter McCarty. But the runner at second, the ghost runner, now moves up to third base.
I don't think Miller ever got a good grip on it. I think he went to throw it and never got a grip, so he had to go to first. So now you got to bring the infield up.
So the fielder's choice puts the runner at third base with 1 out for Kay Doty. Doty 2 for 4 on the night, a couple of singles and a couple of pop-ups. First pitch way outside. McIntosh makes the backhanded grab. So again, it's Jay Harry, the runner, now at third base. 1 out. And 1-0 to Doty. Lifts this one into right field. It'll be deep enough to score the run. Pineda drifts over. The right fielder make the catch. And with that, Jay Harry will tag and move up. And with now 2 outs, the Fisher Cats regain the lead at 4-3.
That run will not count against the line of Tommy McComb, of course, it being the inherited zombie runner. So bases clear, 2 outs. See if Tommy McComb can get this third out here.
RBI number 9 on the season for Cade Doty. Does clear the bases now with 2 outs for Gabby Martinez, who's 0 for 4. And of course, the Phils will be in the same position in the bottom of the 9th inning, or bottom of the 10th inning, where they will have a runner at second base as well, as McCollum throws one up and in, and Martinez has to duck out of the way of it. So Keaton Anthony will start the bottom of the 10th inning at second base for Reading, as Martinez fouls one straight back to the backstop. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Beats this one fouled on the third base line. Brent LaValle, the manager for the Fisher Cats, picks that one up, turns it into a souvenir. Get a good crowd on hand for a Tuesday night here in Baseball Town as Martinez beats another one off, this one off his foot, stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 66-11 our attendance tonight. And tonight, this week is a heck of a week. Tomorrow night, kids in attendance get a Hershey Park pass, a ticket to go to Hershey Park anytime you choose over the summer. It's a great deal. Thursday night, Baseball Town Hall of Fame night. Philadelphia Phillies third base coach and, of course, longtime skipper here in Reading, Dusty Wathen, will be inducted along with Darren Ruff and Trevor May. Roger Maris bobblehead giveaway for fans in attendance. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Beats this one on the ground to DiMartini. Third baseman makes a nice backhanded stop and across in time for out number 3. So the Fisher Cats do get the run across here in the 10th. They do it without the benefit of a hit. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Last chance for the Fightin Phils. They now trail it 4-3. Alex Amalfi will now come back out for another inning of work. He is looking for his 4th save of the season. He's 3 for 3 in save opportunities in 2025. Again, the Fightin Phils will have a gross runner at second base, and it will be Keaton Anthony who will be in the 10th inning on second base. The Phils need to get that run at least home and look for one more as well as they trail at 4-3 here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Andrew Mendez will lead it off. Mendez 0 for 2 in the night. Walking a sacrifice fly. He took that one to the wall in right field. And a great leaping catch up against the fence for Jace Borfin, but it did tie the ball game up at 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch went for it all there. Comes up empty. Mendez 4 home runs on the year, now 26 RBIs on the season. Malfi takes a look at second, and another now delivers. It's outside, it's 1-1. Mendez, Paul McIntosh at first base, or excuse me, at the on-deck circle. McAdoo is now at third base for the Fisher Cats. After Peyton Williams was pinch run for, and that one's low and inside, it's 2-1. Lifts this one shallow left center field. Martinez, the left fielder, will call for it. He'll make the catch. That is out number 1. So it looks like Jay Harry, who came in as the pinch runner, is now at shortstop. And Doty goes to third, with McAdoo now at first. That's the defense that changes for New Hampshire. So 1 down now for Paul McIntosh. Lost the handle on the bat as it goes up and over the top of the Fisher Cats dugout. As McIntosh swings and misses at the pitch, it's no balls and a strike. So McIntosh now looking for a little bit of extra pine tar on that bat after losing the grip on it. So he'll have to go pick up his bat at the third base dugout and now walk back over to the first base dugout. A little bit of that spray that they use. Put a little extra sticky substance on the hands. And no balls and a strike now to Paul McIntosh. Again, Keaton Anthony representing the tying run at second base. 1 out, bottom of the 10th. McIntosh 1 for 4 on the night, singled his last time up. That's outside, it's 1-1. That's way up high, an easy take for McIntosh. It's 2-1. So he gets himself a little bit better count now at 2 balls and a strike. Seth Beer in the on-deck circle for the Phils. That's on the inside corner. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alex Amalfi on the mound. Takes a long look in at Sharp. Beats this one, high chopper towards second. Paulino only has 1 play at first. He has it. With 2 outs now, Keaton Anthony moves up to third base. So the Phils down to their last at bat here with the tying run at third base and 2 outs and Seth Beer at the plate. Beer's had a good night. He's 2 for 4, including scoring a run for the Phils. Blew out and struck out in his other plate appearances. 4 RBIs on the year, looking for 1 here to tie the game up. First pitch way outside, ball 1. Beer with just 1 home run on the year. And it was here at FirstEnergy Stadium. 1-0 pitch. Way up high again, it's 2-0. Peyton Anthony, the runner at third base. He's the ghost runner. The bottom half of his 10th inning. 2-0 pitch. Lifts it straight up. Left side in the infield. Shortstop Harry calls for it. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side and end the ball game. So the Phils cannot get the ghost runner home in the 10th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and they leave that 1 man left on base. The Fisher Cats end up with the win tonight in extra innings. The final score, New Hampshire 4, Reading 3. We'll take a timeout, back with our White Star Travel postgame show right after this on the Reading Fightin Phils Radio Network. Tonight's postgame show is presented by White Star Travel, the official group sponsor of the Reading Fightin Phils. Visit whitestartours.com for more information. Well, a tough one tonight for the Fightin Phils as they lose in extra innings by a final score of 4-3. Lots of opportunities for the Fightin Phils. Couldn't get the big hits when they needed them the most, and they end up dropping the opener of this 6-game series to the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Again, by a final score of 4-3. Mitch Noonboard for the Phils to start. Devereaux Harrison to start it for the Fisher Cats in a matchup of right-handers. And it was the Phils who struck first in this one, and it started in the second inning. Seth Beer got it started with a base hit. Robert Moore then doubled, put runners at second and third and nobody out. Leandro Pineda fouled out, but then Cade Fergus drove one into center field deep enough to allow Beer to tag up and score. To give the Phils the lead, it gave Cade Fergus his 11th RBI of the season. Aiden Miller then fouled it with a base hit that brought home Robert Moore, as Aiden Miller drove home his 17th run of the year, and the Phils had themselves a 2-0 lead. It stayed that way until Josh Hedgka came on to relieve Mitch Noonborn in the 5th inning, and the Fisher Cats are able to do some damage against Hedgka with leadoff singles from Devontae Brown and Jacob Sharp, the 8 and 9 hole hitter. Then Edinson Paulino was hit by a pitch to load the bases with nobody out. Phillies played the infield back, hoping to turn a double play ball and concede a run with a 2-0 lead. Charles McAdoo grounds out to third baseman Carson DiMartini to score 1 run. And then Jace Borfin hits a ground ball to Keaton Anthony at first base to score a 2nd run, and that tied up the ball game. And then Peyton Williams delivers a single that brought home Paulino. And with that, the Fisher Cats took the lead at 3-2. It stayed that way all the way up until the 8th inning. Pretty good job done by the bullpens tonight for both the Phils and the Fisher Cats, throwing up some zeros till we got to the 8th inning. And the Phils were able to do some damage again with Carson DiMartini making his Reading debut, his Double-A debut for the Fightin Phils tonight after being called up from Jersey Shore after the weekend series for the Blue Claws. He makes his Reading debut tonight, and it was a great one for Carson DiMartini. And he got his 2nd hit of the night with a leadoff single in the 8th inning. He then stole second base with Keaton Anthony at the plate. Anthony hits a ground ball to the right side that allows DiMartini to move up to third base with 1 out. And then Hendry Mendez drove one to the wall in right field. Jace Borfin made a great leaping catch up against the fence to record out number 2, but it obviously was deep enough for DiMartini to tag up and score. And the Phils had tied the game up at 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th. They did not quit at that point in time. Paul McIntosh followed with a single. Seth Beer followed with a single. Then Robert Moore walked, but Leandro Pineda flew out on a diving catch by the left fielder Gabby Martinez as he plucked it off the ground and saved a big spot for the Fisher Cats and a chance for the Phils to get a couple of runs out of that. But instead, it stays tied at 3-3, and neither team able to score in the 9th inning. And so we went to the 10th, and the Fisher Cats start with a ghost runner on second base. A ground ball from Ryan McCarty moved him to third base. Jay Harry was the pinch runner at second base to start the inning. And then with him at third base, Cade Doty hits a fly ball to right field, plenty deep enough for Harry to score. Cade Doty gets his 9th RBI of the season, and the Fisher Cats had taken that lead with that ghost runner coming across at 4-3. The Phils had their chance to do the same. Keaton Anthony was the ghost runner in the 10th inning. Hendry Mendez led it off with a fly out to left field. Paul McIntosh then grounded out to second base. That allowed Anthony to move up to third base, but then Seth Beer with the infield pop-up that ends the ball game and gives the Fisher Cats the win at 4-3. Alex Amalfi gets the win. He's 3-2. Tommy McCullum, he gets the loss. He is now 0-1. For the Fisher Cats, 4 runs on 11 hits, no errors, and they left 10 men on base. For the Fightin Phils, 3 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors, and they left 10 men on base as well. Time of the game, 2 hours and 55 minutes. Played in front of a very nice crowd here at FirstEnergy Stadium, 6,611. So the Fightin Phils and the Fisher Cats back at it tomorrow night. Again, 7 o'clock is first pitch. 6:45 is our pregame time here on the Reading Fightin Phils Radio Network. With the win, the Fisher Cats move to 27-31, and with the loss, the Fightin Phils fall to 20-36 on the year. So game 1 goes to the Fisher Cats. Game 2 tomorrow night, right back here at FirstEnergy Stadium. Again, it's a very busy night this week of ball games here at FirstEnergy Stadium. Again, tomorrow night, the first 2,000 kids in attendance receive a Hershey Park pass for a day pass for Hershey Park. So you come out, enjoy a Fightin Phils baseball game, and get a pass for a future trip to Hershey Park sometime this summer. Thursday night, Hall of Fame night. Dusty Wathan, Darren Ruff, and Travis May will all be inducted into the Reading Fightin Phils Hall of Fame in ceremonies beforehand. And also found out tonight that Roger Maris, who of course is a member of the Reading Fightin Phils Hall of Fame, it'll be a Roger Maris bobblehead giveaway on Thursday night as well. Roger Maris' granddaughter, who lives in the Philadelphia area, will be here and in attendance for Thursday night's game. So that is a cool thing. So a great night on Thursday night. And also, if you're a fan of the morning show on WEU with Mike Keller and myself, Dusty Wathan will be joining us on Thursday morning at 7:25. So you can have a chance to hear and speak with the former Fightin Phils manager and now the Philadelphia Phillies third base coach, Dusty Wathan. He'll be with us at 7:25 on WEU 830 a.m. on Thursday morning, again at 7:25. And, of course, we head to the weekend with fireworks on Friday night, Mega Blast fireworks and a tribute on a Swifty night on Saturday night. And, of course, the series wraps up on Sunday, Father's Day, and a Hawaiian shirt giveaway for dads and an on-field catch with dads and their sons after the game on Father's Day as well. So it's a very, very busy start to this series. And, of course, the Phils will be home for 2 straight weeks this week and then next week as well. But it doesn't get off to a great start as the Phils drop the opener of the series. Good ball game, entertaining ball game, but the Fisher Cats win it by a final score of 4-3. So that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. For my broadcast partner, Jake Starr, my name is Bob McCool. Thanks for listening to Reading Fightin' Phils baseball here on the Reading Fightin' Phils Radio Network and our flagship 830 WEU.com. We'll have more of it for you tomorrow night. Better yet, as always, love to see you here at the ballpark. Fisher Cats win it 4-3. Have a great night, everyone, and thanks, as always, for listening.